game here at Brawley Municipal Stadium at the campus of North Alabama in Florence, Alabama. Their marching band, which is a fabulous contingent, has just put on a great show for the crowd here at the stadium. At halftime, we'll be hearing from both the Bloomsburg University and Delta State University marching bands. Delta State University, a school of 4,086 enrollment from Cleveland, Mississippi. It was just a 4-hour bus ride for them. We mentioned they're very familiar with this stadium. They play every other year in a conference game against North Alabama. In fact, this is the 20th time that a Delta State team has played at Brawley Municipal Stadium. Here's that offensive unit, and it is a potent one. 6th in the nation in rushing, 294.1 yards per game. They scored 38.7 points a game with that option attack. Justin Ashley is a big redshirt freshman tight end. 6'3", 273 pounds out of Richland, Mississippi. Reed Stringer, number 74, is the left tackle. 282-pound junior at 6'5" out of Canton, Mississippi. Chris Booker, a sophomore, is the left guard. He wears number 70. 6'1", 288 pounds out of Clarendon, Arkansas. Randy Grierson, number 62, is the starting center. 6 foot, 273 pounds senior from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Jamie Everett, number 54, is the right guard. 5'9", 269, the senior from Macomb, Mississippi. The right tackle is number 79, Max Weathers. 6'3", 334 pounds, and a junior out of Liberty, Mississippi. Talking to Bloomsburg defensive lineman Brian Sims, he was very, very impressed with the film work that he did on the center and 2 guards. Grierson the center and Booker and Everett the guards. He said they are outstanding and the real keys to this option offense. Well, when they're not optioning it, they can go long. And Jason Franklin, number 1, is a big play man. 6 foot, 200-pound senior out of Meridian, Mississippi. Transferred from Eastern Mississippi Community College. Wanted to be a quarterback here, but they're kind of log jammed at that quarterback position. Moved to a wideout spot and has caught 39 passes this season, averaging over 26 yards a catch, 12 touchdowns. We'll also see James Grubbs, number 87, a 6'4", 185-pound sophomore out of McGee, Mississippi, with 24 catches for 297 yards and 2 touchdowns. The quarterback voted the top collegiate player in all divisions in the state of Mississippi for this year, Josh Bright, number 10. 6'5", 235 pounds, a junior out of Batesville, Mississippi, averaging 48.3% completion rate, but for 1,348 yards and 14 touchdowns. He has been intercepted 8 times, but Bright is an option quarterback who can run the football. 206 carries, 1,320 yards. He's the second leading rusher on the team, and he has scored 18 touchdowns. He's averaging 6.4 yards a carry. At 1 slot back will be number 3, Tanny Flowers. He's 5'8", 197 pounds, a junior out of Starkville, Mississippi. 48 carries, 334 yards. Doesn't carry it a lot, but when he does, he's effective. Averaging 7 yards a carry, he has scored 6 touchdowns. The marquee running back on this team is the fullback. Number 9, Rico McDonald. 5'8", 197 pounds, a junior out of Ripley, Mississippi. 1,551 yards rushing, 17 touchdowns, averaging 6 yards a crack. And the other slot back, number 5, DeForest Hart, a 5'7", 185-pound senior out of Vicksburg, Mississippi. 70 carries on the season for 373 yards and 6 touchdowns. He also will be a pass catcher, 21 receptions on the season for 269 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's the starting lineup offensively for the Statesmen of Delta State University, tri-champions in the 12-team Gulf South Conference this year, and then won the South Regional in the NCAAs with victories over Valdosta State and Catawba, and then went into the national semifinals at home last week, beat North Dakota State 34-16. Their head coach, Steve Campbell, in just his second year, played on a Division II national championship team for Troy State of Alabama, starting center back in 1988. Here's the starting lineup offensively for the Huskies of Bloomsburg, and it's a potent group, 36.5 points per game. Good balance of the rushing pass. Listen to this, 234.1 yards rushing, 228.4 yards passing. Huskies, if anything, have passed a little more as the season ended and the postseason has come about. The tight end for Bloomsburg, number 5, Ryan Sullivan, 6'5", 248, a senior out of Media, Pennsylvania. 13 catches in the season, 172 yards and 1 touchdown. The left tackle, number 73, Sean Fluso, 6'5", 278 pounds, a senior out of Parkland High School. The left guard, number 68, Chris Mullen, 5'11", 276 pounds, a redshirt freshman from Wissahickon. All these seniors coming back and injuries at that left guard position, it was very important that Chris Mullen emerge. He has, and has added to what is an outstanding offensive front for Bloomsburg. The center, number 78, Matt Russell, 6 foot, 277 pounds, a senior from Chesapeake, Virginia. Manny Henry, first-team All-Conference pick a year ago, first-team All-Conference pick this season. At the right guard, 5'9", 274 pounds, a senior from Berwick. And the right tackle, and an outstanding one, number 61, Jeff Smith, 6'2", 292 pounds, a senior from Pittman, New Jersey. The Huskies' offensive line, tackle to tackle, 4 first-team All-Conference selections, and the redshirt freshman Chris Mullen was a second-team pick. So it's an outstanding group. The wide receiver, number 19, Terrell Johnson, 5'9", 151 pounds, a sophomore from Central Dauphin, 56 catches of the season for 985 yards and 11 touchdowns. 2 of those touchdowns coming in the national semifinal game against UC Davis, and 1 was the touchdown that decided it in that fourth quarter comeback. The quarterback, number 10, Eric Miller, 5'11", 167, the senior from Abington Heights, completing just under 60% of his passes this season for 3,035 yards, 36 touchdowns. 14 of them have come in the postseason, and that is an NCAA Division II postseason record. He's only been intercepted 11 times in this long season, now coming into the 15th game. We talk about long seasons. This season for Bloomsburg, the longest allowable by the NCAA. Because of that early August game against Carson Newman, August the 26th, Huskies were allowed to start practice August the 6th. Now playing as long as the Division II team can play, December the 9th, so over 6 months of football for Bloomsburg. Huskies hoping it will culminate in the school's first football national championship. The tailback position is manned by 2 outstanding juniors for the Huskies. Number 12, Marcus Glaze, a 5'10", 195-pound junior out of Conrad Weiser High School, 1,824 yards rushing and 17 touchdowns. We'll also see Aristine Henry, number 38, a 5'8", 193-pound junior out of George Washington High School in Philadelphia, 891 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns for him. The fullback position will be shared by 2 players who are really the unsung heroes in the Huskies offense. Both have done tremendous jobs blocking. Number 26, Doug Werner, a 5'10", 222-pound junior out of Conrad Weiser High School. And number 29, Jamison McLaughlin, a 5'7", 209-pound sophomore from Petersburg, Virginia. The flanker for Bloomsburg and the all-time leading pass catcher, Mike Loco, number 8. 5'10", 186-pound senior out of Phillipsburg, New Jersey. This season, 84 catches on the season for 1,288 yards and 19 touchdowns. He's part of a Bloomsburg offensive unit that is averaging over 460 yards in total offense and coming off an outstanding effort at UC Davis last week. 660 yards and 58 points against UC Davis. By the way, that was the biggest point total scored against the Aggies since 1932, when a little school called Stanford beat them by 59 points, 59 to nothing. So quite an effort for the Huskies last week. They'll need another big effort today as they take on the Statesmen from Delta State University from Cleveland, Mississippi, as they make their way onto the far side of the field. Statesmen wearing their white jerseys with the forest green numerals, forest green helmets and trim. Big contingent has made their way. We mentioned it's not a big trip for them. 4-hour bus ride is what it took them. Bloomsburg, of course, flew down here to Florence, Alabama, out of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Airport on Thursday morning. The Huskies about to make their appearance on this, the near side of the field. Both of these teams have certainly earned their way to the final. Delta State this season has played 6 nationally ranked teams, 4 of them in the top 10, They are 6-0 this season against nationally ranked teams. Bloomsburg almost as impressive. The Huskies have played 7 nationally ranked teams, and they are 6-1 against those teams. The only loss was to Carson Newman in the season opener. Carson Newman was ranked 2nd in the nation in the preseason poll. Huskies of Bloomsburg now making their way onto this the near side of the field. Bloomsburg designated as the home team, wearing their maroon jerseys with maroon helmets and pants, gold numerals and trim. So we're just a couple of minutes away from the start of this Division II National Championship game. Jim, I just can't imagine what's going through the minds of these players down on the field today. You know, it's been a group that, for the most part, has amazed people by the way they have not gotten overly emotional. And we talked about this last week. If you were an overly emotional team playing at UC Davis down 19 after 3, you're probably done.
Too many ups and downs. You know, a tribute back to an old friend, Jim. John Devlin told him, remember what we do. We don't go high and we don't go low. We remember what we do. This football team is so incredibly focused, it's unbelievable to me. You know, when you get to this level, the one thing we're finding out today, national television, a lot of other things, a lot of things scripted, and they're not exactly necessarily any room for change, and the team is doing that and dealing with that right now. And when you do that, you throw the guys out of their regular game routine. Some people wouldn't react to that very well. I have not seen an entire 3-day period these guys at one time over or under react to anything that has gone on. Phenomenal focus.
Delta State won the toss, deferred to the second half. The Huskies will get the football, and they'll be moving from our right to our left as we view things here in the first half of play. The officiating crew is out of the Great Lakes Conference in Michigan. Todd Geerlings is the referee. The umpire is John Chappelle. The line judge, John Hayes. Head linesman, Malcolm Pennington. Jeff Lekevich is the field judge, and the side judge is Mike Brown. Teeing things up for Delta State, their outstanding place kicker, Billy Dorgan. He's kicked 6 field goals of 40 yards and more, including a 52-yarder. And he does it without a shoe on that kicking foot. That right foot is bare. He'll be kicking off, and Bryant Stone deep for the Huskies, standing right back at the Bloomsburg goal line. The year 2000 National Championship game in Division II football is underway as Dorgan's kick will come up short. Darrell Williams takes it at the 15 for the Huskies to the 20, and Darrell Williams to the 25, and a good effort over the 30, out near the 34-yard line. So good return by Darrell Williams of the Huskies.
A week ago, Jim, Danny Hale was not happy with his special teams performance with one exception. Kickoff return, there again. Good force with the wall. It looked like Williams would be tackled around the 25. He gets it out over to the 33. Not bad field position to start the day.
1st and 10, Bloomsburg. They'll be going against an outstanding defense for Delta State University, giving up only 88.3 yards on the ground per game to the opposition. That is simply outstanding. Marcus Glaze is the tailback in the I formation. He'll get the call, try the right side, hit wrapped up after a gain of just a yard on the play. Who's making the stop is Andre Brown, defensive end. Clayton Mosley at the other end. Ezel Powell, 336-pound transfer from Auburn, at one tackle along with Robert Gaines. Inside linebackers, they're both outstanding, Jared Beckett and Jamal Johnson. Outside linebackers, Rory Bell and Tedrick Polk. Secondary, Pat Walker, the free safety, John Kohlenberg. Demetrius Patterson at a corner. 2nd and 9, Bloomsburg. Miller gives on a delay to Marcus Glaze. He has room, and then it's cut down the open field at the 39-yard line. But that's a nice tackle by Rory Bell, the senior out of New Orleans, Louisiana. That's a big hole open for Glaze. And then it closed quickly at the 39. It'll be 3rd and 4.
You're going to see good defensive pursuit out of these Delta State Statesmen, Jim. They really pursue to the football. That's why they only give up 88 yards a game on the ground. That kind of play by Rory Bell.
So the first 3rd down situation of the ball game. 3rd and 4, Bloomsburg at the 39, and Miller rolls to throw, and he fires to the sideline. Great diving attempt, and yes, the catch coverage by Terrell Johnson at the 49-yard line. Pass came up a bit short, but Johnson, the sophomore, goes to the turf, makes the grab, and the Huskies move the sticks.
Demetrius Patterson dove for it, Jim. Thought he almost got a hand on it. Great concentration by Terrell Johnson. The Huskies are not going to fool around. They're coming right to the line of scrimmage.
11 yards on the reception. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg just short of midfield. Blaze is the tailback in the I formation. Loco wide to the right. Johnson wide to the left. The give is to Glaze. He'll sweep the left side. He turns the corner. He has some room, and then he's hit hard out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Good blocking off that left-hand side. And Demetrius Patterson made the hit.
And really a big hit on Marcus Glaze on that play, and made up for just missing that football on the last one a little bit.
2nd down and 4, and again Bloomsburg will come to the line without a huddle. They have it at the 44-yard line of the Statesmen. Doug Werner ahead of Glaze in the I formation. There's a slot to the right side. Long count by Eric Miller. Gives it to Glaze, tries the right side, has the first down, then some. Great cut to the 35, and cut down in the open field at the 32-yard line. Marcus Glaze with a terrific move. Finally hit and dropped by number 19, Shelton Belton. And Bloomsburg picks up a big first down at the 32, 12 yards in the carry. They come right to the huddle.
He's got folks out in front, including Doug Werner, Jim. Good blocking out front, good cut by Glaze. Huskies are on a move.
From the 32-yard line, slot to the near side of the field. Mike Loco in the slot, and rolling that way is Eric Miller, and he fires to Loco, and he has it inside the 25, knocked out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. So Bloomsburg on the march in their first possession, and the first connection of the day, Eric Miller to Mike Loco. It's not likely to be the last.
It sure is, and Jim Monas talked to him earlier this week, Jim, the offensive coordinator of the Huskies. He talked about Delta State giving him a pad and playing off. The Huskies like that little sprint out and roll out and the little short pass to Loco and others. It was there that time. If they keep letting them have it, the Huskies will take it.
1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the Delta State 20-yard line. Huskies marching off the opening kickoff. Slot to the right side this time. Glaze, the tailback in the eye. The give is to Marcus Glaze. Tries that right side, spins around, and gets maybe a yard. Swarming defense. Remember, this is a Delta State defense that gives up yardage grudgingly. Jamal Johnson, freshman linebacker out of Louisiana, number 3 tackle on the team, among the people in there. Just a yard for Glaze. 2nd down and 9, Huskies.
Good pursuit there. Marcus tried to kick it to the outside, made a cut, made something out of not much, and got a little bit, but was outstanding defensive play.
Terrell Johnson wide to the right side, Loco wide to the left. Lays the tailback in the eye on 2nd and 9 from the 19-yard line. Eric Miller under center, has the snap, straight drop back to throw, fires a quick out to Johnson at the 10, and Johnson ridden out of bounds across the way near the 7-yard line of the Statesmen. Quick out to the far side to Terrell Johnson, and the Huskies move the sticks and have a 1st and goal.
There's that pad I was talking about, Jim. This time John Kohlenberg, the free safety over there, and he gave Terrell Johnson the pad, and the Huskies again went back to it. Once to Loco, now this one to Johnson.
1st and goal, Bloomsburg at the 7. Slot to the near side of the field. Sullivan, the tight end, on the left side. Bloomsburg marching off the opening kickoff, trying to get on the board first. Long count by Miller. Takes the snap, rolls left, fires to the end zone for Loco, makes the grab for a touchdown! Eric Miller on target to Mike Loco. The Huskies strike first.
Jim, will find out how they play from ahead. A week ago, they played from behind the whole time. Somebody said, can these Huskies play from being in front? We're going to find out right now. Great play. The pad even in the end zone was there. Mike Loco, Eric Miller. It's been a great combination. It clicks first. It's appropriate the national championship game.
An NCAA postseason record for Mike Loco, his 8th touchdown in the postseason. And now the extra point attempt coming by Chris Thompson out of the hold of Mike Loco. Matt Vincent snap there. Placement, kick is up, and the kick is good. Top of the field, 12-12 to go in the first quarter of play with the score. Bloomsburg 7, Delta State nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Drive as you'd want the start this game.
Jim, it's been every week in these playoffs. It's been unbelievable. It started back in the season, Kutztown, Slippery Rock, and then into the playoffs with Saginaw Valley, Northwood. Last week, Cal Davis. This offense is on a roll. Nobody's going to tell them they can stop them. They mix it up. It's balanced, and right now it's clicking.
Kickoff coming from Zach Quigley, the freshman, and it's a very short kick to the far side of the field, fielded by one of the upmen at the 25-yard line. The return over the 35 out to the 38-yard line. Return by DeForest Hart.
Knocked down by
Mike Ulicny and Eric Steffen among the people in on the stop. So good field position for the Statesmen to start their first drive. 1st and 10 at their own 38.
Huskies start at their 33. Delta State gets 5 more on their kickoff return on the short kick by Quigley. The Statesmen do indeed have good field position. We'll see this triple option again. Give, keep, pitch. That's what we're looking for.
Josh Bright, the big quarterback, sets him down for the 38-yard line. Fullback Tico McDonald behind him. Long count by Bright. Sends a man in motion, gives it straight ahead to McDonald. Not much doing, maybe a yard on the play. Bloomsburg closes quickly. Jim Lanigan among the people in on the stop. He and Aaron Bordas are the defensive ends. Dwayne Davis and Brian Sims are the tackles. Jeremiah Dyer, middle linebacker. Outside of him, Greg Roskus and Matt Keys. The corners are Rudy Garcia and Luke Murray. The safeties are Toye Berry and Trent Flick. 2 yards on the pickup. 2nd down and 8 for the Statesmen at their own 40. Flowers on the right side. DeForest on the left. As the pitch on the option goes to Flowers, and he has big yardage over midfield, still on his feet, inside the Bloomsburg 45-yard line. So they option quickly to the left, and it's Tanny Flowers, the junior from Starkville, Mississippi, with a big game, and the Statesmen in Bloomsburg territory.
That time they did the job, Jim. The Delta State line went out there. We talked about those 2 guards in the center. They went out. One of them picked off the outside linebacker when he committed in. The pitch man was open, picked up some good yardage on it.
18 yards on the carry, 1st and 10 for the Statesmen at the Husky 42-yard line. DeForest on a wing to the left. Flowers to the right. DeForest Hart goes to the tailback spot now as the quarterback's going to keep it. He has big yardage. He numbers inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. Josh Bright may have the 1st down. They line up with 2 players on a wing, and they're both on a wing facing that line of scrimmage. Bring one in motion, then it's the quarterback who kept just about up the gut, picked up to the 31-yard line, 11 yards on a 1st down.
Again, that's that triple option. You've got to watch a couple of things. Josh Bright, a talented quarterback. He saw the hole, he took it. Good yardage.
DeForest Hart on the left, Flowers again on the right, and McDonald. The lone running back directly behind quarterback Josh Bright from the Bloomsburg 31-yard line. Bright's back to throw. He's hit and he's sacked. Brian Sims has him at the 36-yard line. You can't get across the line of scrimmage much faster than Brian Sims just did.
Boy, you sure can. I was waiting for flags to fly. Brian got in there so fast on the play, Jim. He's been good all year long. You heard Josh Bright mention him in the countdown segment we did. Brian Sims makes the first big defensive play of the game.
2nd down and 14 now for the Statesmen. Back at the Bloomsburg 35-yard line. Clock running, 10:15 to go in the opening period. Bloomsburg with a 7-0 advantage.
2nd and 15.
As number 2, Jennings wide to the right side. Jody Jennings as Bright will keep it up the middle. Lots of running room. The 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. He goes in for a touchdown. Josh Bright, 2 steps back and then goes up the middle, 35 yards for the score.
Talk to Paul Dyer, the defensive coordinator. When you're playing against this triple option, you have a little time to settle in, and he worried most about these early drives, particularly the first one. Now you know the reason for his worry. The Statesmen very impressive on their first drive. Josh Bright particularly impressive, and they're looking to even it.
What an explosive start to this national championship game. And now Billy Dorgan, a senior from Biloxi, Mississippi, an outstanding kicker, will attempt the extra point to tie it. His kick is up, and his kick is no good. No good off to the left. Time out of the field, 9:55 to go in the first quarter. With the score, Bloomsburg 7, Delta State 6. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, thank you very much, Dave. An explosive start to this NCAA Division II National Championship game here at Brawley Municipal Stadium in Florence, Alabama. Both teams with one possession, both teams with a score, but the outstanding place kicker for Delta State, Billy Dorgan, who was 64 for 72 at extra points on the season, just missed one as he kicked it high but off to the left. So the Huskies retain the lead at 7-6 with 9:55 to go in this first quarter.
I'll tell you what, they were very, very impressive. We talked about all three aspects of the triple option. They used them all. The pitch just once, the big 18-yard gainer. Josh Bright on the keeper was the most important one, Jim. He kept it. He picked up some big yardage, including the touchdown run.
Boy, and it is impressive to see a 6'5", 235-pounder run as well as he did on that touchdown. As Dorgan will kick off. And it's an onside kick, and the scramble is on. Delta State indicates they have the football, and they do. Onside kick, and they have the ball.
Well, that's certainly interesting early in the ball game. The coaching staff must have seen something out of the Husky, lulled them to sleep early maybe in the ball game. They get the football right back, get that defense back out there, see if they can get on top. The Huskies showed no ability to stop them in their first drive. Let's try it again.
So Dorgan, after missing the extra point, comes up with a huge play, scribbles it along the ground, and terrific kick by him on the onside attempt. So Delta State, right after they rock the Huskies for a touchdown, are on the field with great field position at their own 45-yard line. McDonald is the fullback behind Bright. Long count by Josh Bright. He's back to throw off play action, and he's looking long for Franklin against Rudy Garcia. Incomplete. Played pretty well by Garcia down at the 10-yard line. Franklin did get a hand on it, but it goes incomplete, 2nd and 10.
1 week ago, one thing about this triple option, Jim, with North Dakota State, they scored twice in the first quarter when Delta State scored 20 points. A touchdown pass to Franklin, a touchdown pass to Flowers, so they can go for it, and the pass plays are usually of the big play variety.
2nd down and 10. Justin Ashley, a 273-pound tight end, who actually serves as just an extra blocker, has not caught a pass this season. It's to the right side. 2nd down call coming. Statesmen just over their own 45-yard line. Long count by Bright. Fakes it into the line. Keeps the football. Is hit and dropped by Matt Keys. And there's a flag down on the play. Maybe a face mask as Bright was brought down by Keys after a gain of just a couple. The officiating crew conferring. Matt Keys, along with Jeremiah Dyer and Greg Roskis, have been outstanding for that linebacker position for the Huskies, as they are the 3 leading tacklers on this team. It is a face mask call, so the Huskies make a good defensive play. Unfortunately, someone gets a hold of the face mask. We'll see if it's the 5 or 15-yard variety. It's just the 5. It'll take it into Bloomsburg territory at the 47-yard line and bring up a 2nd down and about 3.
Brian Sims, I think, really made the initial play, Jim, tripping up right when Keys covered him, but Sims making good penetration again. He's having his way up front in this early going.
It's the Statesmen in Bloomsburg territory with a 2nd down and 3. Bright on a long count. Sends a man in motion left to right. Gives the ball to McDonald. He's going to sweep the right, trying to get outside. He's cut down at the 45-yard line. Good defensive work by Rudy Garcia coming from that corner. It looks like he may come up just a bit short of the yardage needed for the 1st down.
Well, they went for the onside kick early in the ball game like this and could have given up tremendous field position. I would imagine they'll go for it right here on 4th down.
No, it's only 3rd down because of the penalty.
Oh, that's true. So no question now what they'll do.
3rd down and inches for the Statesmen at the Bloomsburg 45-yard line. 8:54 to go in the first quarter. Bloomsburg with a 7-6 lead. Josh Bright on a long count. Sends a man in motion. Keeps the ball himself after a fake and uses that big body to get the 1st down over the 45 to the Bloomsburg 44. Huskies defensed it well, but when you're 6'5" and 235 pounds, a little bit of lean will usually get you a yard at least. That's what he got, and it's a 1st down for the Statesmen.
And a lean is what he used, Jim. It was good defensive job by the Huskies on that right side. They all showed up at the football, but Josh Bright with the big play.
First and 10 for the Statesmen near the Bloomsburg 43-yard line. Their second possession of the game, trying to take their first lead. Josh Bright yelling out some signals to Casey Mackey, who's still there looking for the signal. Now he splits out wide to the left side. Franklin's wide to the right. Bloomsburg moving along that defensive front as Bright fakes handoff, back to throw, looking, in pursuit, gets the pass away, incomplete. Did a nice job of getting that ball away because he was in the grasp of Greg Roskis, the 223-pound junior linebacker out of West Scranton, who leads the Huskies in sacks with 8 and 17 tackles for losses on the season.
Two players disappointed on the same play. Bright because he had to throw it away. Roskis because he wanted to get to him sooner and get him for the sack and make it much more of a loss than just the incomplete pass and make it 2nd and 10.
Statesmen with the football at the Husky 43-yard line. Jason Franklin, dangerous wide receiver, out to the near side of the field. Long count and a man in motion, and Bright gives us straight ahead to McDonald's. Got lots of running room, extends inside the 30-yard line down to the 29. Trent Flick on the tackle for the Huskies.
Yeah, he breaks that Trent Flick tackle, and he's gone. Again, that was the give straight ahead, and they mixed it up very, very well. Can see why this offense has been so impressive all season long, Jim. Josh Bright, intelligent quarterback, reads what the defense gives him. That time it was the give to the fullback, big yardage.
13 yards on the carry, 1st and 10 for the Statesmen at the Husky 30-yard line. Man wide to the left, wide to the right, as Bright on an extremely long count. Still counting it off, finally gives to McDonald, breaks the tackle, gets down to the 21-yard line. Rico McDonald, 5'8", 197-pound junior out of Ripley, Mississippi, who they think has a shot at playing at the next level. 17 touchdowns in the season, 1,551 yards. 2nd and 1. And they are coming to the line of scrimmage without a huddle. Not a hurry-up offense by any means. In fact, they're taking a lot of time to get off plays.
Letting Bright do his job at the quarterback spot. He's calling the plays. They send him in there, mix the personnel up for him. He sets the play.
Gary Smith has replaced McDonald at the fullback position on a 2nd down and 1, as the give is to DeForest Hart, and he has the first down to the 15-yard line. He was lined up with that wing to the left, took the handoff. They'll mark it at the 14, 7 yards in the pickup. 1st and 10.
A little bit of that misdirection you see out of the wing T look there, where he came off that left wing and came this direction, and the fake handoff inside and give it to him coming the other direction.
Huskies like to do a lot of substitutions on defense. They've had trouble doing it because there's no huddle offense, but now realizing how long Delta State's taking to get plays off, they did get a couple people in there, including Fran Greger at a defensive end position from the 14. 1st and 10 for the Statesmen, looking for their first lead of the ball game. As Bright gives to Gary Smith, and he breaks tackles inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Trent Flick makes the stop for the Huskies, but this option machine keeps moving as Rico McDonald checks back in, replacing Smith. They got down to the 8-yard line, so a pickup of 6, 2nd and 4.
Trent Flick making the tackles. That was to be expected today because of his assignment, but you don't want to make it too many of them in the secondary.
McDonald, the lone running back behind Bright, from the 8-yard line. Long count once again by Josh Bright. They take that 25-second clock to the max. The give is to McDonald straight ahead, and he gets nowhere. Huskies stack it up right at the line of scrimmage. They try to go straight ahead, did so to Rico McDonald, but Huskies are on the play as number 97, Dwayne Davis, the senior out of Reading, makes the play. So it's going to be a 3rd down and 3 at the 7-yard line of Bloomsburg. So big call here. Bloomsburg crowd on their feet. This is the near side of the field, trying to urge the defense to come up with a big play. McDonald, the running back behind Bright from the 7-yard line. 3rd down and 3. Bright fakes handoff, keeps the football inside the 5, into the end zone for another touchdown. Josh Bright in from the 7-yard line, and the Statesmen have the lead.
He has done his job all day long. He reads it. He's setting up the plays at the line of scrimmage, Jim. Then he takes it down. He faked the give to the fullback, found the gap on the left side behind those guards in the center. Brian Sims talked about him being very mobile up front. They showed it there, created a hole. Josh Bright hit it. He gets in for the second time.
Now look for the Statesmen to go for 2. They missed that first extra point attempt. Dorgan's kick went wide left after the first score. So they have the first lead, and boy, the other thing they've done very effectively is keep the football. Bloomsburg's offense has been red hot this postseason, but they've been sitting for much of this first quarter. Now the 2-point conversion try. Bright rolls right to throw. Big pass rush, fires into the end zone, making the catch for the 2-point conversion is James Grubbs. Grubbs makes the catch. Timeout on the field, 5:04 to go in the first quarter play with the score. Delta State 14, Bloomsburg 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Of this powerful option offense by Delta State University here in the early going. 2 possessions, 2 scores. Josh Bright, their outstanding quarterback, running for both the scores, giving him 20 rushing touchdowns on the season. And Bloomsburg's 7-0 lead has dissipated. The Huskies trail at 14-7 with 5:04 remaining in the first quarter. That last drive, 10 plays, 55 yards after the recovery of the onside kick.
Yeah, give Coach Steve Campbell credit, Jim. He saw the Huskies offense one time today in their first drive, and they put 7 points on the board. He didn't like what he saw, tried to maybe change a little momentum here, even in the early going, get his ball club fired up. They came right down and scored. He has the call on the onside kick. They get it, put points on the board. Now they have the lead.
Billy Dorgan will kick off. And deep for Bloomsburg, Bryant Stone. Dorgan, barefoot kicker, senior out of Biloxi, Mississippi, who's kicked some long ones as far as field goals are concerned this season. He has 6 field goals of 40 or more, his longest being 52 yards. His first kickoff, though, wasn't particularly long. In fact, came up short fielded by Darrell Williams. We'll see how it goes here as he approaches the football. And the kick will be fielded by Bryant Stone at the 12-yard line to the 15, to the 20, and cut down about the 27-yard line. Making the play was Tedrick Polk, the junior out of Bassfield, Mississippi. So the Huskies get it for only the second time. And one thing that Delta State has done in this first quarter, Jim, besides scoring 2 touchdowns, they've used a lot of clock.
Yeah, they sure did. They used it up to their advantage, but they kept the Husky offense off the field for a long time and tightened them up early, come out. It's still a cool day, certainly good weather for December, but it's a cool day, and we'll see how the Bloomsburg offense comes off the sideline.
1st and 10 for Bloomsburg. It's been a long time since they've had the football. I formation, slot to the left side. Eric Miller under center. Has the snap, gives the ball to Glaze, tries the right side, gets by 1 tackler, and surges out to the 31-yard line. That's a nice move by Marcus Glaze. Jared Beckett, outstanding junior middle linebacker, had Glaze right about the line of scrimmage. But he was able to get ahead for 5 yards.
Yeah, Glaze made him miss, did he, with Beckett? And once he did, Marcus picked up some good yardage on first down. They're going to have to do that. Those linebackers for Delta State like to fire at the football and fire upfield. Marcus sidestepped them and picked up some good yardage.
Terrell Johnson wide to the right. Mike Loco wide left. Single coverage on Loco from the 31-yard line. Statesmen showing blitz, and they back away a bit. This Miller back to throw, looking down far sideline, incomplete. He had Terrell Johnson open at the 47-yard line of the Statesmen. The pass came up just short. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Sheldon Belton left him go, Jim. He released Terrell Johnson, and it wasn't the right move. The safety wasn't over there. Kohlenberg didn't get there in time. Had it been on the mark, the Huskies would have had a nice gainer. Johnson was there.
Well, as hot as the offense has been for Delta State, this is a big call for Bloomsburg. They don't want to give up the football. 3rd and 5 at their 31-yard line. Glaze, the lone running back behind Eric Miller, who will operate for the first time in the game from shotgun formation. Slot to the left side. Miller has the snap. He's hit as he gets the pass away to Terrell Johnson. Makes the catch at the 30 and stumbles down at the 25-yard line. Eric Miller took a terrific hit, and he is shaken up a bit. He stood in there against the rush, though, and was on target. And if Terrell Johnson doesn't stumble, he may go the distance.
1-on-1, 19 against 19. Terrell Johnson against Sheldon Belton there. It was a battle. There was some bumping and pushing, and Johnson wins the battle. The Huskies with the big play to the 25-yard line. But Jim, Eric Miller standing in there was a key. The blitz was coming all out from this right side, and he got leveled.
44 yards on the reception by Terrell Johnson. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the 25-yard line of the Statesmen. Huskies trailing at 14-7, 3:45 to go in the first quarter of play. Glaze is the lone running back behind Eric Miller. Glaze gets the call, tries the right side, and is cut down in the open field. Boy, what a quick move from that 246-pound junior linebacker out of Florida, Gerard Beckett. Number 5 on the team in tackles, but he has 17 of them for losses. Just a gain of 2 by Glaze to the 23, 2nd and 8.
I'll tell you what, he's been impressive in the early going. The 4 guys with more tackles than him this year must be just quicker, Jim. They get to the ball because he gets there very, very quickly. He did on Glaze on that one. Good play by the backer.
2nd down call, Bloomsburg. Brian Sullivan, the tight end on the left side. From the 18-yard line of the Statesman, Miller on a roll to the left. Pump fake, looking long for Loco. Makes the grab inside the 1-yard line. 1st and goal, Bloomsburg.
I'll tell you, I like the way the Huskies are answering, Jim. We talked about them standing on the sidelines for a long time. Hey, just go back the last couple of weeks. They've been there before. They've been behind before. This offense knows how to answer. Again, Eric Miller to his favorite receiver. Johnson makes a big play on the last play. Mike Lowe on this one. The Huskies are knocking.
Inches from the goal line of Delta State. 1st and goal, Bloomsburg. Glaze the tailback in the I formation. Alan Lechthaler in as a blocking back to the left side. Miller gives the ball to Glaze. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage and brought back to the 3-yard line. Oh, that's a tough play. Rory Bell, the senior out of New Orleans, Louisiana, comes in. Huskies were just inches away from the goal line. Now it's going to be tough. They mark it at the 2.
They stacked it up over there. They've seen the Huskies do it. Now, Jim, in the past couple of games, too, they've sent Lechthaler and Sullivan over there and gone the other way on occasion. We may look for that 1 or 2 times on down in this goal line situation as well. They're lined up. The tight ends are to the left again.
Loco wide to the right. Now after a shift, the tight ends will be on the right side. Everything that way, including Eric Miller, who's rolling, looking for Loco. The pass is there. Makes the catch for the touchdown. Eric Miller to Mike Loco for the 2nd time in the ball game. The Huskies have pulled within 1.
Who likes playing from behind? And the answer is very simply Bloomsburg. The Huskies come back and answer it, Jim. Again, the pad. Again, it was Belton on that side. Terrell Johnson beat him on a good one-on-one battle for the big gainer. This time, Mike Loco beats him on that right corner. Huskies come right back and answer the back-to-back scores by Delta.
Now the extra point attempt by Chris Thompson to tie. Out of the hold of Mike Loco. Matt Benson with the snap, the placement, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Time on the field, 2:16 to go in the first quarter of play with the score. Bloomsburg 14, Delta State 14. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
It's going to be the big one.
6 plays, 74 yards in that drive by Bloomsburg. Big plays, 44 yards to Terrell Johnson, 22 to Mike Loco. Tied at 14. Josh Quigley, the freshman, kicking off for Bloomsburg. His kick comes the far side of the field. Purifoy will take it at the 8-yard line to the 10. Mario Purifoy to the 20 and tries to cut, cannot. Is down at the 25-yard line. Jason Noble covers him there. So Delta State will get the football for the 3rd time in this game. They're 2 for 2. 2 possessions, 2 scores. We're tied at 14 with 2:07 remaining in the opening period.
Like Derek Steffen, the Southern Columbia product, getting down there, Jim, and forcing him to change his direction and running him back into where the Huskies special teams could cover him over. Good job by Steffen to be out in front.
And now Jeff Smith will be the quarterback. He's a senior, the backup, and a better thrower than Josh Bright. And they immediately go to a different look. Slot to the left, slot to the right. Smith, who's completed 60% of his passes, fires a quick out and has his man on the far side of the field. Jennings with a good gain out near the 40-yard line. He's buried there by Matt Keys. But the quick out from Jeff Smith to Jody Jennings, a junior out of Dermott, Mississippi. 15 yards and a first and 10.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach Steve Campbell doesn't believe in the old axiom, if it ain't fixed or ain't broke, don't fix it, because he's gone with his quarterback. They've switched up during the course of the year. He does it here after Bright leads 2 very impressive drives for scores.
Jeff Smith, the transfer from the University of Mississippi, at the controls. Slot to the right now, man in motion that way. The give is to McDonald straight ahead, and he gets over the 45 out near the 46-yard line. Rico McDonald gets the call. Matt Keys in on the stop for the Huskies. Boy, Keys has been outstanding this year. Of course, you can say that about all 3 Bloomsburg starting linebackers. Greg Roskis and Jeremiah Dyer as well. They are the 3 leading tacklers on the team. 2nd and 5. Delta State at their own 45-yard line. 1:17 remaining in this opening period. Slot to the right side. Jeff Smith gives the ball to McDonald. He's going to sweep the right side. He's going to be brought down for a loss back at the 43-yard line. Mike Belinsky makes a terrific defensive play for the Huskies. Belinsky, 227-pound junior from Collegeville, making a play. Now set up a big 3rd down situation. 3rd and about 7 back at the 43.
Mike Belinsky was really locked up in a battle and battled his man evenly until he could stretch it out. He strung it out far enough till he could make the play. It was an excellent play by Mike Belinsky on that one, Jim. Did a good job stringing it out until he could get free of his man and make the tackle.
3rd down and 7. Now 3 receivers to the left side, 2 receivers to the right. Smith will operate from shotgun. He has the snap. Quick look. Fires to his man Franklin. Has it to 45. Has it to midfield. Has it to Bloomsburg 40 and down to the 35-yard line. Quick hitter to Jason Franklin and a huge gain for Delta State on a 3rd down conversion.
The inside turn, that rocket screen look almost, Jim, did Franklin. Came back on the inside of it from that trips to the left side. Did a good job getting him the football. Good blocking out in front. The power was over there. They went behind it.
21 yards on the pass reception, 1st and 10 for Delta State at the Bloomsburg 36. Smith will again operate from shotgun with 3 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. And he has the snap, and it's a quarterback draw. And he keeps the football inside the 30 and gets down close to the 1st down yardage on what will be the last play of the 1st quarter. With the score, Delta State 14, Bloomsburg 14. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Jim Doyle and Jim Hollister from Brawley Memorial Stadium on the campus of North Alabama. We start the 2nd quarter play in this NCAA Division II National Championship game. Bloomsburg University and Delta State University locked in a 14-14 tie. Both teams 2 possession, 2 scores. And we start the 2nd quarter with Delta State threatening once again. They have it at the Bloomsburg 25-yard line. This quarter, they are moving from our right to our left. Jeff Smith was taken over at the quarterback controls for this series. Sets him down. McDonald, the lone running back. Smith, a quick out to the far side. Has a man. Jennings turns a corner and is ridden out of bounds hard by Jeremiah Dyer at the 15-yard line. So those quick outs to those talented wideouts hurting the Huskies, and Delta State threatening to take the lead early here in the 2nd quarter.
You know, Jim, we talked about the defense settling in on this option offense. Tough to do when they mix it up like this. They're getting a completely different look out of Delta State right now, and it makes it very, very tough for the Huskies to settle in. They've got to play defense against this offense and then come back around. We're going to see the option a lot more today.
2nd down and 1 at the 16-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side. McDonald is the lone running back behind quarterback Jeff Smith. McDonald gets the goal, has the 1st down, and then some powers inside the 10, down around the 7-yard line. How difficult is it to defend a team, as Jim just alluded to, that has all the weapons on the option, and then they bring in a straight drop-back quarterback with a spread offense and are just as good.
And has some option little intricacies to it. That time it was the fullback dive straight ahead, so they still use some of the stuff, and now they get down there and they're going to switch back to Bright, Jim.
1st and goal at the 8. That's right, Josh Bright comes in. The 6'5", 232-pound junior quarterback from the 8-yard line as he fakes to McDonald, keeps the football, trying to get outside right, and Toye Berry wraps him up at about the 6-yard line. Good play by Toye Berry. Bright is very difficult to bring down. In addition to his speed, of course, is his size, 235 pounds. But Barry made the play at the 6. It'll be second down and goal.
Again, you talk about the Huskies moving some fresh people in there. They're doing that as much as they can. Now they're looking back at the option. They've got to change their thought processes again, be assignment conscious, and be prepared to play against this triple option inside the 10.
Second down and goal. Hart on the right. Flowers on the left. McDonald, the lone running back, directly behind quarterback Josh Bright. Calling it audible from the 6-yard line. Sends Hart in motion, fakes handoff, keeps the football, and powers down about the 3-yard line.
Near the 3.
So he faked the handoff, took it right up the middle, gets about 3. Mike Bolinsky makes the stop. Third and goal, Statesmen at the Husky 3.
Jim, first quarter of play for Bloomsburg. Total offense, 140 yards for Delta State, 161, just as even as we would have expected it. 14-14 on the scoreboard. The numbers tell the same thing.
Big third down call coming. Bright under center at the Bloomsburg 3. McDonald, the running back, directly behind him. Josh Bright gives the ball to McDonald straight ahead. He will not get there, or does he? Still on there. You haven't blown the whistle. They give him that second effort. He's very, very close to the Bloomsburg goal line. Fourth down, I think you'll see the Statesmen go for 6.
Yeah, I was waiting and waiting and waiting for the whistle. It didn't happen, and there's no question. The coaching staff on the far sideline getting the crowd on their feet. No question, they're going for it right here. They're not going to go for the 3. He surged down inside the 1. It's going to be one of those where Huskies have to just send the whole ranch and see if they can stuff them.
Fourth down and goal. Bright has a power eye to the right side. 4th and inches, gives the ball to number 3, and he tries to get over it, does so. Oh, Bloomsburg almost stuffed the play. Tanny Flowers went high and evidently just broke that play.
Boy, he sure must have just broke it, because it took a while with the man on the far sideline. The lines judge had it, and he came in right away and threw his arms up. They didn't need much at all. It was a good defensive effort. As I said, the Huskies brought the whole ranch to that left side of the line. Thought they stuffed the Statesmen, did not. They trail again.
Tandy Flowers on a 4th down play gets the score. Dorgan's extra point attempt is up, and the kick is good. Time on the field. 12-17 to go in the first half of play with the score. Delta State 21 and Bloomsburg 14. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Get the 3. Indeed, that's the case. And so far, right now, the teams have had the football 5 times, and we see 5 scores on the board. It's the Huskies' turn.
Pressure really on the Bloomsburg offense. They have to keep putting points on the board. It's a beautiful kick. Brian Stone back at his 2-yard line to the 10, and hit and dropped short of the 20-yard line. As Tandy Flowers had that touchdown, the first player down there. So Bloomsburg will have a long way to go with 12:07 to go in this first half, and the Huskies trailing it 21-14.
Distance hasn't seemed to bother them the last couple of weeks, Jim. They put together long drives, short drives, any kind of drive you wanted. This will certainly be the longest of the day with the field position at just their 18, but they've gone 82 yards in the past couple of weeks on a couple of occasions, or almost this long, and why not again?
And now Aristine Henry is the tailback in the I formation. He gets the call, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he'll be buried back at the 16-yard line. Trying to sweep that left side, and nothing doing. Huskies now find themselves in a big hole as Brian Jones, 226-pound junior out of Humboldt, Texas, among the people in on the play. It'll be a loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 back at the 17.
Henry good at the cutback, and it wasn't there. He had to go to the outside, and Delta State did a good job stringing it out to that right side and ran him down for the tackle.
And now Henry lines up as one of 3 receivers to the right, so Jamison McLaughlin is the lone running back behind Eric Miller, who drops back to throw. There's the shuffle pass to Henry, but he's hit and hit hard, and he'll lose yardage back to the 15-yard line. That was read so well by Jamal Johnson, the freshman out of Destrom, Louisiana. And now Bloomsburg in a big hole, 3rd down. And the Huskies, 14 yards to go for a first down in a game where you cannot afford to keep pace in the scoring department.
Big read by Jamal Johnson. Can't believe he saw it out of that set before, because we haven't, so it was a big play.
From the shotgun, Miller back to throw, fires, Terrell Johnson drops the football at the 24-yard line. The sophomore had it right in his hands and dropped it. Would not have been the first down, but certainly would have given the Huskies more room to punt, as they are going to be the first team in this game today to punt.
Well, certainly they're going to blink first. We've seen this offense come back from before when the Huskies have been behind, so it's not a big deal this early in the ball game, but it certainly has, the defense has shown no ability to stop Delta State to this point. They've got to not give away too bad a field position.
Joe Dietrich back at his 1-yard line, gets the kick away, low line drive kick, and will roll dead right near midfield on the Bloomsburg side of the field. So great field position for Delta State University with 10:38 to go in the first half as they try to add to what is a 21-14 lead.
Maybe the field position, the short field, will be confusing to the Statesmen, Jim. They won't be able to spread out this offense and do it the way they can, but a good job defensively by them on the Huskies following their score, and as I say, it's the first time anybody stopped the other offense today.
And now Josh Bright will be the quarterback, and he will operate from shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left. 1st and 10, Statesman from midfield. And Bright fakes the quarterback draw, eludes a tackler, fires the pass incomplete. Intended for Jody Jennings, but a good play by Bright to avoid a sack. 2nd and 10 for midfield.
Yeah, Dwayne Davis getting in there in a real hurry, and Bright even actually showed a step up and almost a fake like he was going to run it, and when he got ready to pass it, he saw Davis coming and got rid of it in a hurry.
2nd down call coming for the Statesmen. Again, they'll have 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, but this time, Josh Bright will be under center instead of in the shotgun formation. 2nd and 10 for midfield. Takes the snap, fires a quick out to the sideline, has Jennings at the Bloomsburg 45, skips out of bounds for a first down. Boy, those quick outs are really hurting Bloomsburg. One man out there, and he was blocked. So very short passing game, but picking up good yardage for the Statesmen. Another first down as they threaten to add to what is a 7-point lead.
It's the old Westchester look, Jim, when they drop back and threw that pass behind the line of scrimmage, or at least parallel with the line of scrimmage, and then go from there, make the talents on the outside, take advantage of it. That's what they're doing.
12 yards to Jody Jennings. 1st and 10 near the Bloomsburg 38-yard line. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield behind Josh Bright, who's going to take it on the quarterback draw and hit and drop, but he still gets 3 to the 35-yard line. Extends that big body of his before Matt Keys can make the stop for Bloomsburg.
Good job to get up on Bright in a hurry, and it is a big body, but the Huskies have to be happy with the play on first down. They've got to come up big right now. Also, Breeze gone that direction now, Jim, too, so it seems to be a little bit to the advantage of the offense with the Breeze behind them.
2nd and 7 for the Statesmen at the Husky 35. Bright will operate from shotgun. 3 receivers to the right side, 2 to the near side. Has the snap, fakes the draw, back to throw. He's going to be sacked by Mike Bolinsky back in the 44-yard line. Bolinsky with the big defensive play for the Huskies. His 5th sack of the season.
Well, he better forget faking that draw in there. It's the 2nd time he did it. Dwayne Davis almost got him the last time. This time, Mike Bolinsky does get him. It's that little stutter step thing that he does. And boy, it just gives the Huskies, it seems, enough time to get in on it.
Remember, they have a tremendous field goal kicker with a 52-yard range. They'll have to get some yardage, though, to get him within that range. 3rd and 15 at the Bloomsburg 43. Bright from shotgun, has the snap, back to throw, big pass rush. He's got the screen off to McDonald. McDonald gets inside the 30. McDonald to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Statesmen. Oh, they come up with a big call on 3rd and 15. And the Huskies just cannot stop this offense.
Well, they've tried to go downfield in the first quarter a couple times deep. Don't in this second quarter. Take it and get it to the quick guys. That time underneath on the screen. Picks up big yardage. It indeed was a big call. And they keep this drive alive when the Husky defense looked like they had matched the stop of Delta State.
On a 3rd and 15, the screen pass up the middle, 18 yards to Rico McDonald. Now an empty backfield for Josh Bright, who has 3 receivers to the near side. He's dropped back to throw, fires over the middle, has his man, Jennings, and picks up 7 to the 20-yard line. Quick hitter to Jody Jennings. 2nd down and 3 Boy, Bloomsburg's defense has really gone against some outstanding offenses these last 2 weeks in particular.
And this one particularly is confusing because we talk so much about the triple option, Jim, and then they come out with this passing attack. Knew they could, saw the numbers there, didn't know exactly how they did it. It's really diversified.
2nd and 2 from the 19. Wright will operate from shotgun. And he's going to keep it himself up the middle with lots of running room inside the 15. Hit and dropped at about the 13-yard line.
On the carry.
Big guy running hard, picks up the 1st and 10 as Delta State closing in on what would be a 2-touchdown lead with 8:01 to go in this first half.
Haven't panicked. He used that stutter step early, and as we said, the Huskies got in on him twice. And this time he goes with it on the quarterback keeper.
Timeout, Bloomsburg. 8:01 to go first half. Delta State 21, Huskies 14. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is a team that doesn't do it. They've lost only 7 fumbles the entire season from the Bloomsburg 12-yard line. Slot to the right side. Josh Bright under center. Gives to McDonald. Big hole. He carries a tackler down to the 1-yard line. Boy, that offensive front chewed up the Huskies that time, and Matt Keys held on. But Rico McDonald carried him close to that Bloomsburg goal line. And it will be
just outside the 1.
1st and goal at the 1.
Good job by McDonald, Jim, on one of those pass plays not too long ago. McDonald was one of the wideout guys doing the block, and when you referred to the lone tackler out there being blocked, it was McDonald doing it. Now he's back to his traditional spot, and he does a big play there to get it down inside the 5.
1st and goal near the 1-yard line. Bright on a long count, and flags and whistles before this one gets started.
Timeout.
And Bloomsburg is forced to burn a timeout. Now the Huskies have only one left. 7:33 to go. Division II National Championship. This Delta State offense has been something to see today. Rico McDonald is the running back behind Josh Bright inside the 2-yard line. Bright gives the ball to McDonald. He leaps toward the end zone, and we're waiting for an official indication and finally get one on the far side of the field. Touchdown, Delta State.
They've been impressive, and again, it's McDonald. He got him down there, the big run where he carried Matt Keys down to the 1. Give it back to him and go with your power up front. They're talented up front. They're big up front, Jim. They're going behind that right side a lot. They did it again, and McDonald gets in pretty easily, actually.
4 possessions, 4 scores for Delta State University. Extra point by Dorgan. Kick is up. There's a flag down. The kick is good. Might have been the Huskies offside. We'll wait for the referee to sort things out here.
This be the second penalty of this ball game, Jim. Huskies had one in the first half, the incidental face mask. Indeed, it is offside Bloomsburg. So
9 plays, 50 yards on that drive. 28-14 is the count. Delta State leading Bloomsburg. We'll be back with the kickoff in 60 seconds.
It's been effective.
Billy Dorgan, after his extra point, will kick it off. Bryant Stone deep for Bloomsburg. 28-14, the Huskies trail it as Dorgan's kick, a line drive. Stone fields it at the 9, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, the 25, to the 30, and Bryant Stone still on his feet out near the 38-yard line, and still on his feet near the 40. So a terrific effort by the freshman from Connecticut, Bryant Stone.
Just about every white jersey finally surrounding him, with the lone exception being the kicker, and good pursuit by Delta State, but Bryant Stone has shown the ability to get the Huskies good field position. He does it again. If they're going to answer, they're going to do it from their own 40-yard line.
Bloomsburg with the football, trailing 28-14. Aristine Henry is the tailback in the I formation behind Jamison McLaughlin. Mike Loco wide to the left. Statesmen come up along that line of scrimmage like they want to blitz. Then they back away. Miller takes the snap, gives the ball to Henry, tries to get outside left, breaks out of one tackle, gets to the 45 and out to the 49-yard line.
That is an outstanding effort and an outstanding run. A couple times where they thought they had him, and E.J. Henry just gets out there and strings it out a little bit more and picks up some good yardage.
Henry's a junior out of George Washington High School in Philadelphia, a school that's been very good to the Huskies where running backs are concerned. Irv Sigler, the 1997 Harlan Hill Trophy winner, also from that school. 2nd and 1, Bloomsburg just short of their own 49-yard line. Loco wide to the right side. Eric Miller on a long count, gives on a delay to Henry, has room over midfield to the 45, tries to make a cut and spins to the 39-yard line of the Statesmen. Oh, that offensive line opened a big hole for Aristine Henry, and he burst through it for a first down.
Jim, one of the things we talked about this offense being off, by my count, just the 5th play of offensive play for the Huskies in this second quarter. They ran the 3 earlier and had to punt the football away. Delta's really hung on to the football, kept the Huskies off the field. These 2 plays in this drive, big ones by E.J. Henry.
12 yards on the carry, 1st and 10 Huskies at the Statesman 39-yard line with 6:11 to go in this first half. Bloomsburg trailing 28-14. Miller gives on the play to Henry, tries the right side, fumbles the football. Delta stays on it at the 35.
Andre Brown covers it for the Statesmen, and making the extra effort there, got hit once and knocked it loose. The first blink in this game in terms of turnover. It's the first one of the ball game. Brown covers it for the Statesmen.
Now the pressure really on Bloomsburg's defense. Delta State scores as they have on every possession of this ball game. It'll be 35-14 at the half, and Bloomsburg will have to kick off to start the second half. So the Huskies must come up with a stand as Aristine Henry has just coughed it up. Josh Bright under center. McDonald, the lone running back behind him. First turnover of the game, and it is huge. Bloomsburg threatening to pull to within 7. Now in trouble as the pitch goes to Flowers. Lots of running room. 40, 45, out near midfield. The onslaught continues. Boy, this offense gives no indication of slowing down. Huskies turned it over. They'd like to force a turnover, but that's the strength of this football team. Not only do they move the ball, they don't turn it over. 7 fumbles they've lost in the entire season.
Well, they don't pitch it very often. They did there, and give credit to number 5, DeForest Hardy. Picked off Trent Flick, the strong safety for the Huskies. He made the big gainer on the play with a nice block on the outside.
Still 5:51 to go in this first half, and the Statesmen at their own 49-yard line. Josh Bright gives it inside. Another huge hole. Here's Flowers to the Bloomsburg 39-yard line. They're just tearing up the Huskies defensive unit now. 1st and 10. And this machine shows no signs of letting up.
That misdirection look again. The Statesman went right, and Flowers came back to the left, and that hole was there again. Right now, they've got the Huskies on their heels. Now, that's happened before, Jim, but you're right about the Huskies have to stop now. They've fallen behind, including a week ago at the half. They can't get too far behind.
Grubbs is wide to the right side. Bright back to throw. Pump fakes. Has his man Grubbs to the 31-yard line. They are just an offensive machine clicking on all cylinders. That time, Bloomsburg got a good pass rush out of Zach Myers, but a 6'5", 235-pound quarterback can stand in there. Fires a 9-yard strike, 2nd and 1.
One of the Huskies' men on the end came up, put their hands up. He pump faked, and it's a veteran with real poise. He hung in there knowing he was going to get hit, makes the completion.
Grubbs wide to the right side. 2nd down and 1, and flag call by the back judge.
And the 25-second clock's at 0, so I'm not... Can't believe that was delay. Wow, it was fast. Guess what? That's unbelievable.
5-yard penalty.
Quickest 25 seconds I ever saw.
Yeah, their coaching staff is questioning that across the way, and I would too. I mean, they've been going on a lot of long counts today, and that's their first penalty, and they didn't really get a chance to even start the count.
But where those 25-second clocks are, Bright's looking right at them. Their long counts have been intentional. I mean, they're going with it. They're deliberate. He's looking over the defense. We talked about poise. He shows it every play. I just can't believe it ran out on him right there.
1st down and 15. I think that's 2nd down. Back at the 36-yard line. As the give on the play is to Purifoy, and he gets good yardage to the 30-yard line. Mike Bolinsky and Jeremiah Dyer combine on the stop of Mario Purifoy. As he gets to the 30, it'll be 3rd down
Excuse me, Jim. Matt Keys got in there in a real hurry and made the penetration, made the hit, couldn't wrap him up, and they pick up the good yardage because of it. So third and very, very short.
Yeah, 3rd and 1. I apologize for messing up that yardage situation. 3rd down and less than a yard for the Statesmen. Quarterback keeper Bright has it off the left side to the 28-yard line. 1st and 10.
Straight ahead of the safe variety. The clock at 4:06. They have plenty of time to put more points on the board. They know it. And again, they don't necessarily go back in a traditional huddle, Jim, but they're huddling per se. Bright gets the call from the sideline. He brings it back. He lets people know what to do, and then they'll scatter from him now. Now they're all getting it. He'll let them know what's up, and they'll scatter and spread out.
Bloomsburg's defense has to be exhausted. They have done substituting as they usually do, but they've been on the field so much in this first half. From the 28-yard line of the Huskies, Bright under center. Long count, gives to McDonald, but keeps the football, gets outside, and gets the first down. Brian Sims came across the line of scrimmage. He had both the quarterback and McDonald in his grasp, but Bright is so big and so strong, he picks up good yardage out of a nothing play.
And maybe with that cast on his left hand, Brian Sims couldn't wrap up both of them, Jim. It was 1-on-2. Brian Sims being the one. He indeed had both the running back and the quarterback. The quarterback kept the football. Didn't really ever get the handoff because of the outstanding defensive play. Picks up big yardage on the play, and it looked completely like a broken play because of Brian Sims.
2nd down and 1 for Delta State at the Bloomsburg 19-yard line. And Bright will keep the football, has the first down and then some. Gets down to the 12-yard line off the right side. Boy, even on plays like that, where it appears that nothing's going on, they're getting 7 yards, 1st and 10.
Yeah, big play, and again, the quarterback, we talked about him, highly touted coming in. He's smart. Right now, the Huskies got to dig in and see if they can give up 3, if nothing else. A 7 or a 6 is going to really hurt right here.
12 yards away from a 3-touchdown lead are the Statesmen of Delta State. And boy, look at them use that clock. Just 3:17 to go in a second quarter, in which Bloomsburg has barely seen the football. Grubbs is wide to the right side. Jennings wide to the left. There's the inside handoff to DeHart, and he's brought down at the 9-yard line. Defense well. Keys across there first, and then Trent Flick coming from his safety position to make the play for Bloomsburg. But they still pick up 3 to the 9-yard line. 2nd down and 7.
Good pursuit by the Huskies. They'll give 3 right there. Now here's a stand-in down right here. If you can try to force Delta in any kind of passing situation. I know they're inside the 10, but you've got to get them in a situation where they want to try to put it up and make a mistake. Right now they're not making any.
Well, what a great job they're doing of using that clock. It's down to 2.5 minutes. They'll get the score. If they do, Bloomsburg will have very little time. Bright play action, stands tall in the pocket, fires in the end zone, knocked down by Toye Berry. Oh, the pass on target to DeForest Hart, and a good play by the Huskies. Strong safety, Toye Berry got the left hand and knocked it down. And now a huge play. 3rd down and 7 for the Statesmen at the Bloomsburg 9.
Well, the defense wants to put him in this situation. An outstanding play by Toye Berry. He drops back in coverage and knocks it down. They want him in this situation to see if they can come at it. Might be another passing situation here. It's what the Huskies may want.
Bright under center from the Bloomsburg 9. He's going to option to the right. There's the end around to Franklin. Turns the corner, looking for a couple of blocks. Gets by Toye Berry and goes in for the touchdown. Huge play, end around to Jason Franklin, and the Statesmen continue their unbelievably offensive first half.
Yeah, that sure did. It was a great play there, and Toye Berry had the only shot out here. It was 1-on-1 when he didn't make the play. There was no help coming behind because the entire flow went the other direction. The offense went right, the defense left. And when he came back this way, Toye Berry was left by his lonesome, and it wasn't going to work.
Every single possession for Delta State University has resulted in a touchdown here in the first half. 34 points on the board, soon to be 35, as Dorgan will attempt the extra point. The snap, the placement, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out on the field, 2:15 to go in the first half. Delta State's crowd across the way on their feet. 35 for them, 15 for Bloomsburg. We'll be back in 60 seconds. For the second week in a row, Bloomsburg has seen a high-powered offense put them in a deep, deep hole. Is it too much to ask for the Huskies to make another huge comeback like they did in the semifinals last week at UC Davis when they trailed by 19 going into the last quarter? Here they trail by 21. But we are in the second quarter, but just 2:15 remaining. And remember that timeout that Bloomsburg used near the goal line. It's a timeout they'd love to have now. They really need a score to end this half. If they don't get one, not only will they go in by 21, but Delta State gets the football to start the second half. And their offense, which has scored on every single possession, shows no signs of letting up.
Well, the Huskies have seen it before, and I think the answer to your question is no, it's not too much to ask, but I do indeed think that this next 2:15 is important. I think they've got to get some points out of it.
Dorgan's kick will be fielded by Bryant Stone at the 10-yard line to the 15, to the 20. Looking for some blocking at the 25. Hit and dropped as he gets to the 36-yard line. It's another nice return by the freshman, who's going to be one outstanding player in this program. Jamal Johnson on the stop for the Statesmen.
So Huskies have their field position at 35-yard line, and it's pretty good field position. So Eric Miller's got to come out there. Again, they've been a long time on the sidelines, Jim. My count, certainly not official. I have them for 6 plays in this second quarter, one of them a fumble. So they have not had the football very much.
Marcus Glaze is back in there as the tailback in the I formation, slot to the right side. Bloomsburg with the football, 2:03 to go. Fake the end around. Miller pump fake, now fires to the sideline, has Loco, and Loco's dragged down near the 40-yard line. He'll pick up just a couple of yards. They fake the end around, and then Eric Miller on the pump fake looked like he wanted to go deep. Instead, settled for a couple of yards in the reception to Mike Loco, and Bloomsburg will have to hurry. 1:42 to go in the half. 2nd and 6 from the 40-yard line. Slot to the left side. Now Darrell Williams in the lineup for the Huskies. The speedster is wide to the left from the 40. Miller has the snap, gives on a delay to Glaze, and it goes nowhere. Brought down right at the 40-yard line, so it's going to be a 3rd down and 6. The middle linebacker Jamal Johnson making the stop. Now Bloomsburg in trouble. Just 1:17 to go in the half as McLaughlin will come out of there. Forgione will come in. Eric Miller looking to the sideline. Huskies using a lot of clock here. By the time they come to the line for this 3rd and 6, there'll be just a minute to go in the half.
Well, but it's a big play. I mean, they've got to make something here, so they've got to make sure it's the right call.
Slot to the left side. Miller back to throw. Shuffle pass, and is it read beautifully. Glaze will lose yardage back to the 37-yard line. And now, not only is Delta State great on offense, but their defense is starting to feel their oats as well. They'll use a timeout. They want to get that offense on the field for still another score with 47 seconds to go. 35-14, they lead it. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Casey Mackey will be anticipating the punt from Joe Dietrich. 47 seconds remaining in this first half. Matt Vincent snaps it to Dietrich. They're coming hard, and he gets the kick away. Mackey will let it go. Rolls to the far side, out of bounds, and around the 29-yard line. So they call that timeout to give him a shot at a blocked kick, and they came hard at Joe Dietrich. Did a nice job of getting it away. So 39 seconds remain. Remember, they have an excellent field goal kicker. Billy Dorgan has kicked 6 field goals of 40 or more, his longest from 52 yards out. So they'll be a couple of first downs away from his range as they take over just short of their own 30.
Good punt. I don't know if the rush forced him to punt it away from the returner, but he did indeed. He got a little bit of a roll, so there was no return on it. Net yardage, good for the Huskies on that one.
And Bright will take a knee, surprisingly. They will go into the locker room with that lead. They're not going to press the issue here. I thought with the talents of that field goal kicker, they might try for a couple completions. They have the timeouts remaining, but it's not a bad situation. 35-14 at the half, knowing you're going to get the football to start the second half. So they'll let that clock wind down. So this will be the only possession of the first half in which the Statesmen do not put points on the board, and that's just because they didn't try. It'll wind down. One half of football in the books. The score, Delta State University 35, Bloomsburg University 14. We'll be back with the first half scoring in 60 seconds.
For the Huskies of Bloomsburg, Marcus Glaze, 9 carries, 31 yards in the first half. Aristine Henry, 4 carries for 24 yards. Eric Miller, a good day passing the football, 11 of 13, 109 yards and the 2 touchdowns. He simply hasn't had it to pass. Mike Lelko, the leading receiver, 6 catches for 47 yards and both touchdowns. Terrell Johnson has 3 catches for 66 yards. Jim, the Huskies have to get back in it. They have to have the football. The Delta State game plan has been a perfect one. They've run 21 more plays. They've had it 10 minutes more in just the first half alone. Delta State, it's their kind of game. They've got to be very pleased right now.
They have played offense on offense. They have played defense on offense by keeping the ball away from the Huskies, and as a result, they have a 35-14 lead. And the pressure will be on Bloomsburg's defense big time to start this second half. They have not stopped Delta State even once. The only possession in which Delta State did not score that first half was late in the half when they took over with 47 seconds to go and decided to take a knee instead of risk any kind of turnover. Both these teams are amazing stories to have reached this championship game. Bloomsburg in the preseason was picked to finish 3rd among the 7 teams in the PSAC East. Delta State was picked to finish 6th out of the 12 teams in the Gulf South Conference. Neither team made the top 25 in the American Football Coaches Association preseason poll. Delta State finally checked in at number 20 in the 4th week of the season. The Huskies made the poll at number 24 in week 6. Final regular season poll, Delta State, Bloomsburg were still not the favorites. Delta State at 11, Bloomsburg at 13, but here they are in the championship game with 1 half of football to be played. Bloomsburg will kick off. The Statesmen of Delta State will be moving from our left to our right as we view things here in the second half, which is underway. Zach Quigley with the onside kick attempt. Scramble is off the 47-yard line. It looked like Quigley, who had an opportunity to get the ball, Bloomsburg comes up with it. Let's see if it went the required 10 yards. If it does, the Huskies have the ball to start this second half. They do or they don't.
He says Zach Quigley had it. He held up the football. The referee pointed for Delta State. So I'm not sure. Now he got it turned around. Boy, that scared him. Now the Huskies can celebrate again. Zach Quigley kicked it off, got the onside kick. Hey, throw it right back at him. Delta State's coach Steve Campbell did it after their first score of the day. It paid off for the Statesmen. We'll see now. If you have to have the football to get back in it, the Huskies found a way to get it, Jim.
Zach Quigley is a freshman from Lansdale. Did a terrific job there. Not only was he the one that kicked it, but he's the one that recovered it. Bloomsburg 1st and 10 at their 46. Miller on a roll to the left, looking, fires to Brian Sullivan, the tight end. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line of Delta State. They hit by Rory Bell.
We talked about Delta State bringing a whole lot of people into the mix, Jim. Bloomsburg brings the tight end for the first time in today. It's Brian Sullivan on the pass reception. Spread that defense out, divide and conquer. That's what Jim Monas, the offensive coordinator, has to try to do now. The Huskies want some points, and they want them early.
13 yards in the pass play to Brian Sullivan. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the 41-yard line. Miller back to throw. Big pass rush. He's going to be buried back near midfield. They were coming hard. He had no chance as he was smothered by a number of people, including Andre Brown, a senior out of Roundaway, Mississippi, who had 8 sacks in the ballgame coming in. 7-yard loss, 2nd and 17. And the Huskies do not, even though they're trailing by 21, get into the must-pass every play mode, or they'll be coming after them.
Yeah, they sure will. Didn't pick up the blitz there. A lot of guys coming. Big play by Delta State's defense.
Eric Miller rocket screen to the far side of Darrell Williams, the 40 to the 35, and Darrell Williams down to the 29-yard line. Rocket screen to the right side of the field, and Darrell Williams, out of Philadelphia, the sophomore, picks up big yardage, 18 yards and a first down at the 30.
Hey, if they're going to come and get you, do those screens, the rocket screen variety right there. Darrell Williams with a lot of green in front of him. It wasn't Delta State green. It was a lot of grass. He picks up the first down. Big play.
Slot to the left side, I formation, Miller on a roll, left fires, fine, incomplete at the 20-yard line. Huskies catch a break. The ball should have been intercepted at that point.
Yeah, it sure should have. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Big play right there at the 20-yard line by number 30, Tedrick Polk. And he just didn't catch it, Jim. He had it. Great defensive play by Polk. Didn't catch the football.
2nd and 10, Bloomsburg at the 30-yard line. Huskies first possession of the second half. They trail 35-14. Brian Sullivan is the tight end on the right side. 3 receivers to the near side, including Marcus Glaze. As Miller fakes the shuffle pass, rolls left, fires downfield to Loco, makes the grab at the sideline, has it. No, incomplete. Oh, he almost got those feet down at the 7-yard line. Would have been a brilliant catch. But credit the defense of Delta State. They didn't go for that fake shuffle pass. They still got plenty of pressure on Eric Miller. That caused the incompletion, and now a big 3rd and 10.
Boy, he held on to it for a long time, though, Jim, and looked, and then he got Mike Loco with just a step behind and lofted in there. Just couldn't keep his feet in bounds. Had he made it, it would have been a tremendous catch. Big call coming on 3rd down. I believe it's 4-down territory. Huskies want to keep the football.
Rocco Forgione wide to the right. Terrell Johnson wide left with Loco in the slot to the left. Miller from shotgun, back to throw. Big pass rush. He's going to be sacked. Back at the 35-yard line. Well, now with that big lead, and Bloomsburg in the passing-only mode, you are going to see them teen off at Eric Miller. He hasn't gotten sacked much during the season, but it's going to be a big problem now.
Some screens, some tight ends, some underneath to Johnson and Loco to try to stretch them out if they're going to come with that big pass rush and come blitzing. The linemen are going to have to pick it up. One thing the Huskies may have to do is keep those backs back there with Eric Miller to pick up the blocks. They're not going to be able to go out and be receivers. Big call.
Desperation time. 4th and 15 from the 35. Miller from shotgun. Back to throw. Fires. Terrell Johnson makes the catch. Or no. Let's see. Inside the 20.
Yeah, he has it.
He has the ball. There were several defenders indicating that the ball hit the ground. It did not. Johnson with the grab on a 4th down play, 1st and 10 at the 17.
Huge play. Terrell Johnson went down, showed the out, came back across the middle, and Eric Miller just dead flat laced it. Threw it in there, hit Terrell Johnson. Big play. The drive stays alive.
18 yards on the completion on a 4th and 15. Glaze the tailback in the eye, slot to the left side. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the Statesmen 17-yard line. Miller gives the ball to Glaze, looks for some running room, breaks through a tackle, gets down to the 12-yard line. Strong run. Jared Beckett, that 246-pound middle linebacker, had a great shot at Glaze, but Marcus able to bounce away and pick up close to 5, 2nd and 5 at the 12.
Slippery is what Marcus Glaze was. A couple people slipped off him, and he gets down there to the 12-yard line. Big play. Jim, the Huskies running the 9th play of this current drive. They only ran 9 plays, complete 9 plays in the second half.
Slot to the left side. Glaze gets the call, has room inside the 10. No, it's a fake. Miller right side keeps the football, dives toward the end zone. Let's see if he got there. He's very, very close. No indication, and Bloomsburg will have a 1st and goal. Terrific fake by Eric Miller. He got me, and he got most of the defense for Delta State.
Now it's my chance to pipe in and say he didn't get me because I didn't speak up. Boy, it was a great play fake. We've talked about Eric Miller's ball handling skills all year long, Jim. None better than that one right there. He had everybody in the place faked out, almost got in.
Bloomsburg inches from the Delta State goal line early here in the 3rd quarter. Miller, quarterback keeper off the right side behind Manny Henry, gets in for the touchdown. Eric Miller in for the score. The Huskies are on the board first in this second half.
Big, big, big. They didn't want to go out and play defense. The coaching staff decided to get on an onside kick. It worked. Zach Quigley did his job. The offensive line did their job. Eric Miller directs the attack. They ran more plays in one drive right there than they ran the entire second period. The Huskies climb back in it. Now the defense should be fired up and come out. We'll see what they do when Delta State gets it.
Chris Thompson will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Matt Vincent. The snap, the placement, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out of the field, 11:39 to go in the 3rd quarter play with the score. Delta State 35, Bloomsburg 21. We'll be back in 30 seconds. here. Bloomsburg comes up with a big play to start the second half. Onside kick, kicked and recovered by Zach Quigley. The Huskies then go 10 plays, 54 yards for a touchdown, cutting the margin to 35-21. Delta State in the lead. The Statesmen will get the football. Purifoy and Mackey deep. Quigley will kick off for the Huskies.
Would they dare a second onside kick in a row? Would they dare?
I don't think so. Line drive kick to the far side of the field, and they probably should have, as the kick goes out of bounds. Quigley not happy with himself. He made the big play to start the second half, but not a good play there, as Delta State will get the football unless they have Bloomsburg kick it over. Great field position, the 40-yard line. Boy, you cannot give up that much yardage to this team.
We have a free kick out of
Without
bounds.
an attempt.
Yeah, they're not going to give them. They're not going to pass it. 35-yard lines where the Statesmen will get it. They're not going to ask the Huskies to kick it again. They like the field position. No reason to believe not. They scored every time they had it in the first half, except for that one kneel down to end the first half, Jim. They've got to feel confident, but the Huskies have to feel that they're back in this thing a little bit more.
Delta State's offensive machine comes right to the line of scrimmage without a huddle. Josh Bright, who set a school record for a season in total yardage in that first half. Fakes to Brown. Here's the pitch in the end around to Franklin. Rudy Garcia makes the play back at the 32-yard line. Garcia was the only one there. If he doesn't make it, it's going to be big yardage, but he does indeed. A loss of 2 back to the 33.
Boy, big play by Rudy Garcia. Open field. He's out there, and like you say, if he does not make the play, Jason Franklin's probably still running Jim Doyle. Those are the kind of things that the Husky defense has to come up with in this second half.
Second down and 12 for the Statesmen at their own 33-yard line. McDonald directly behind quarterback Josh Bright. Bright on a long count.
Check it
McDonald
off.
started forward and gets back. Fake to McDonald. Keeping the ball is Bright. Big yardage, 45. Bloomsburg's 40 and ridden out of bounds. Josh Bright kept checking off, found the alignment he wanted, and comes up with a huge gain. And they continue to shred the Bloomsburg defense.
More importantly, he got the blocking out there, Jimmy. Didn't give it to the dive man, the fullback. He decided to keep it when he turned the corner. The Huskies went toward the pitch man. He turned it up inside and made the big play. Josh Bright has been as impressive as any quarterback we've seen all year long.
27 yards on the run. 1st and 10 for the Statesmen at the 40-yard line of Bloomsburg. There's the give to Tanny Flowers. Quick move up the middle. He's got great yardage down to the 31-yard line. Tanny Flowers lined up on the right, took the inside handoff. Got some great blocking. So nothing has changed over that first half where this offense is concerned. They continue to roll 2nd and 1 at the Bloomsburg 31.
Not to this point, it certainly hasn't changed. Tanny Flowers turned sideways and almost went through an almost shut door and picks up some real positive yardage. A great run.
Flowers lines up to the right. McDonald directly behind the quarterback, Josh Bright. A 2nd down and 1 call. Extremely long count. They've been using these all day long. Bright keeps the football. Lots of yardage off the right side. Look at him go inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Josh Bright continues to rack up big yardage, and Brian Sims getting up very slowly for the Huskies.
That may be fatigue. They've been out there for a long time, even though they got the break at halftime, Jim. Boy, that defense has been on the field a long time. 82 yards on 14 carries for Josh Bright in the first half. He's picking up right where he left off.
Brian Sims has to come off the field. He just barely got back to that line of scrimmage. In fact, he was delaying action, so he comes out. Zach Myers has replaced him. 17 yards in that carry by Bright. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Bright gives the ball to Hart. He's got big yardage up the middle. Inside the 10 to the 7. We talk so much about the option and the spread and all the looks they're giving. Let's just say that offensive front is terrific because you can run any kind of offense you want. If you're not getting the blocking, it's not going to work. And that front has just torn up the Huskies.
Yeah, let's just say it, because they have indeed. They've controlled the football game throughout, and they are doing it right now on this drive.
2nd and 3 at the Bloomsburg 7-yard line. Bright again on the long count, audibly, once again. Uses up almost all that clock. They've only gotten called for one delay today. Fakes handoff, keeps the football, breaks one tackle, breaks another, gets down to the 2-yard line, 1st and goal.
Yeah, great play again, and when the quarterback wants it, he knows he can at least call his own number 10, and Josh Bright's a good one, and got it in there, got it down in that first down territory. Jim, I'll say one thing for them. They score a lot, but boy, they eat up some clock. They use it. They're patient. They don't jump the gun. They haven't put the ball on the ground one time today, not even close to a turnover. It's impressive.
Now 55 is their big point total of the season. That was in their opening game of the season. They look ready to break that in this ball game. As the give is to DeForest Hart. He extends it in for the touchdown. Oh, they made it look very, very easy once again. 8:28 to go, 3rd quarter. They strike to build the lead.
Yeah, they had to answer. The Bloomsburg Huskies came out, got the onside kick because they didn't want that to happen to open the second half. They didn't want it to happen that easy right there. Impressive drive. Directed by Josh Bright. They spread it around. Flowers, DeForest Hart, some others with the carry. Impressive drive by the Statesmen.
Now the extra point by Dorgan. The kick almost blocked by Brian Stone, but he gets it through. Time on the field, 8:28 to go in the 3rd quarter play with the score. Delta State 42, Bloomsburg 21. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This national championship game, 42-21. Huskies started so well in this second half, recovering the onside kick, putting together a terrific drive for a score, seemingly to get back in it. But Delta State very, very workmanlike right down the field, 65 yards for still another score, and Dorgan will kick off. And there's the onside kick, and the scramble is on. There is a flag down on the far side of the field. Delta State definitely has the football. We'll check the flag.
They were offsides, Jim. They jumped the gun a little bit here. That's what we're going to find out. Delta State was offsides. And one of the Husky guys up front came up and hit it before it went to 10 yards, which, of course, makes it a live ball. But I don't think it's going to matter. It's going to come back. It's going to be offsides.
Well, I've already seen more onside kicks in one game than I've had the whole season combined prior to this.
Not a bad place for it. The other places were really gambles and some other things, but Delta State feels they can score anytime. They're up 3 touchdowns right now. What's the worst they're going to do? Give up 7 more and try to go back down and match it again? They like their odds.
So the mark off of 5 yards back to the 30-yard line, and the Statesmen will be forced to kick off once again with 8:23 remaining in this 3rd quarter. And they have the 21-point advantage. As shadows covering most of the field here at Florence, Alabama. Lights have been on from the start, but it's a bright, sunny, sunshiny day to begin. Temperatures in the 50s at game time. Perfect atmosphere for this national championship game. Both teams trying for their first ever national title in this sport. Dorgan approaches the football once again. This time the kick will be high and deep to the 15-yard line of Brian Stone, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, trying to get outside, breaks a tackle to the 40, to the 45, to midfield, and ridden out of bounds by the barefoot kicker, Billy Dorgan, at the 46-yard line of Delta State.
Maybe that's why they wanted to do the onside kick, because they know their offense can score, but they know Bloomsburg's can too, and they don't want the Huskies to have the football. Brian Stone, they've seen some big kickoff returns. It's been a good year for kickoff returns for the Huskies. Brian Stone does it again. Great field position.
Ball's returned to the 45 of Delta State.
43-yard kick return by Stone. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the Delta State 45-yard line. Miller on a roll right, looking to fire to the sideline. Has Mike Lelko complete and out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So they'll pick up 6, bring up 2nd and 4.
Good coverage on that down and out by Mike Lelko. He came back a little bit for it. Watch one of these plays in the near future for Eric Miller to pump fake and turn Lelko, have Lelko turn the defender around and go by him. And Huskies go for the big ball. In the first half, Jim, they beat Shelton Belton a couple times, and Belton's on that far side now opposite Terrell Johnson.
And Loco's wide to the left, and there's an I formation behind quarterback Eric Miller. Jamison McLaughlin is the fullback ahead of Marcus Glaze. Glaze gets the call, tries the left side, nothing there, weaves his way down to about the 36-yard line. Defense very well that time, but Glaze, showing good patience, found some yardage before he was brought down by Jamal Johnson, the freshman linebacker. At the 36, it'll be 3rd down and 1.
Huskies here trying to answer right back. They've got to come up with a remedy for the Delta State offense, but they've got to make sure that they don't hiccup here. The offense, you got to hope, is not even watching what's going on out on that field before they get out there.
Mike Loco wide to the right. Lechthaler in as a blocking back to the left side. 3rd and 1. Long count by Eric Miller. Gives the ball to Glaze. Has the first down off that right side as he gets to the 33-yard line. Marcus Glaze run down in the open field by Anthony Rocket, 250-pound defensive end out of Water Valley, Mississippi. So it is a first down for the Huskies at the Statesmen's 33-yard line.
2 times they haven't scored today, Jim. That Husky offense, once when they had it at their own 18, 3 and out, and the 1 time on the fumble. So this offense is moving too.
Miller back to throw, fires a quick out, has Mike Loco on the far side of the field, cut down about the 24-yard line. Eric Miller to Mike Loco. What a combination. You know, when Ron Loco, Mike's older brother, was here, and he was teaming with Glenn McNamee, I thought, when are you going to see a passing combination like those two? Well, a couple years later, one very, very similar. Eric Miller to Mike Loco. 9 yards in that play, 2nd and 1.
It's a good setup again. Delta State giving that little bit of pad. It's been there all day long. They take advantage. This time, both receivers come to the left, Jim.
Slot to this, the near side of the field. And there's Jeff Miller, uncharacteristically for him, jumping off sides, beating the count by a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Jeff Smith did there. He just jumped, stood up, and went and rushed and got a little anxious, and not a lot of penalties in this ball game, Jim. At halftime, the Huskies 1 penalty for 5 yards. The Statesmen 1 penalty for 5 yards, accepted penalty. Been very cleanly played. You'd like to think that would be the case because it's a national championship game.
Boy, that is a big one. It was 2nd down and 1, and very uncharacteristic for Smith, who's an outstanding tackle. I don't know if he's done that all year. Miller now drops back to throw, fires over the middle, has the tight end Brian Sullivan for a first down at the 16-yard line. Miller to Sullivan, and injury on the play for the Statesmen. We'll have an injury timeout as Eric Miller right across the middle to that big tight end, Brian Sullivan.
He's going to get some looks, Jim, at the next level as Brian Sullivan. Some real nice size for the big guy. He goes out there at 6'5", 248 pounds, a tight end. Good blocker. He can catch the football. Brian Sullivan's going to get some looks at that next level. There's going to be some folks after this season going to want to talk to him and time him and look to see if he's NFL-type material.
13 yards on that reception. Following the injury timeout, there'll be a 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
Something to stop Delta State. Right here, you got it. Let's assume they get this thing in and get back within the 14 points again. The answer has to come soon defensively, Jim, because they haven't had one yet. For this Delta State offense, they've got to come up with one. Particularly, they get a score here. If they don't get a score, things are going to start to look bad for the Huskies. If they get one, they've got to come up with an answer for this Delta State offense. I'm not sure what that answer is. This offense has been diversified and very good all day.
Tedrick Polk was the injured player. He's off the field now as Bloomsburg from the 16. Miller off play action on a roll left looking, fires to the end zone, incomplete. He had a man, Terrell Johnson, open, but unfortunately for Bloomsburg, big Howard Ross, 262-pounder, was coming down on Eric Miller, and he had to throw perhaps before he wanted to, couldn't get enough on the football. Be 2nd and 10 from the 16.
Actually, I think he might wanted to have thrown it just a little bit earlier, Jimmy. He had to hang on to it for a long time. The play took a long time to develop and allow that man to come down and get after Eric Miller. And Huskies are lucky they didn't have a big loss on the play and just the incompletion.
Slot to the left side, I formation. Miller under center from the 16-yard line. Has the snap. On a roll, left once again, fires the end zone for Lelko, dives and can't make the catch. Double coverage down there. Mike Lelko's still got a hand on it. And now 3rd and 10, Bloomsburg from the 16-yard line.
Yeah, Demetrius Patterson could have picked it off. Mike Lelko made a good play on it, actually, to knock the ball away. That Patterson couldn't do a good job back there in the secondary by the Statesmen. Big call coming now on 3rd down for the Huskies. I'm sure, though, that this is indeed 4-down territory. They're not going to take 3 here.
So if they don't get the first down, at least like to get some to put them in striking distance for a 4th down call. 3rd and 10 from the 16. Miller from shotgun has the snap. Gets the pass away to the far side. Forgione had not turned yet, and it goes incomplete. Like a miscommunication there. And now, desperation time for Bloomsburg once again. 4th and 10 at the 16-yard line. Last time they had the football, they converted on a 4th and 15, but boy, this is asking a lot. Now, Darrell Williams has come into the ball game. Delta State crowd across the way on their feet, urging the defensive unit on. Bloomsburg in desperate straits, trailing 42-21, 4th and 10 at the 16-yard line of the Statesmen. Miller from shotgun has the snap, back to throw, fires to the end zone. Williams makes the catch for the touchdown. Darrell Williams deep in the end zone for the score. This Husky team will not go away.
Say it isn't so. They need 10 on 4th down. Delta State's defense has to be shaking their head. Darrell Williams comes into the ball game, makes the big play. They don't get the first down. They get the 6 points on the board. Jim, this offense the last couple of weeks has just been unbelievable. They've been very good again today. The defense has now got to match it on this next series for Delta.
Chris Thompson to attempt the extra point out of the hold of Mike Lelko. The snap is there, the placement, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out of the field, 5:49 remaining, 3rd quarter play. Delta State 42, Bloomsburg 28. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Quickly kicking off.
Quigley's kick taken by Purifoy at the 9-yard line to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, and to the 35, and out to the 39-yard line. The Huskies, after scoring, do not cover the kick well. Derek Williams finally made the stop, and now here comes the Delta State offense, which has not been stopped a single time this afternoon. With 5:38 to go in the 3rd quarter, leading 42-28. Bloomsburg must come up with a defensive play to have a chance.
Yeah, 38-yard line, I don't think it matters. It's the Bloomsburg defense, and they've got to come up with it right now. It's good field position for Delta, but now's when the Husky defense has to start answering.
Rico McDonald is the running back behind quarterback Josh Bright, who's had a tremendous game, running and throwing. As he gives the ball to McDonald straight ahead and nothing doing. Maybe a half yard in the play. Jim Lanigan making the stop from his defensive end position. 220-pound senior at a Father Judge High School in Philadelphia. One of 12 seniors on this team, obviously playing their final game. 2nd down and 9. Delta State at their own 40-yard line.
There's your first answer, Jim. The Huskies have to come up with 2 more big plays in this series. That's answer number 1.
Casey Mackey wide to the left side. Franklin wide to the right. There's the inside handoff to Hart. Big hole over midfield to the Bloomsburg 40, to the 35, still on his feet to the 30, down to the 28-yard line. And they continue to just shred this Bloomsburg defense. This offense is just something to behold.
It sure is. They just give you so many different looks at it, and different people every time coming in. That time again, back against it, had the big hole and got out there and went against the flow. But boy, a good play by Delta State, and they keep this offense going. Some offenses have done this to this Bloomsburg defense this year, not to this degree.
Grubbs wide to the left. Jennings wide right from the Bloomsburg 28-yard line. Josh Bright gives straight ahead to Rico McDonald. Good yardage inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. This offense is so good, even when it's defensed well, as it was that time by Greg Roskis. Good positive yardage. Actually, they'll pick up just 3 to the 25. 2nd down and 7 for Bloomsburg. Huskies doing a lot of substituting, as they often do on defense, trying anything, but Nothing has worked today.
Well, they found they can now. It's a no-huddle offense, but they do take time coming to the line and designing the play, so they can get those switches in there.
From the 25-yard line, Bright calling an audible. Has had all the right answers today with these calls. Fakes handoff, keeps the football. Huge hole inside the 15 to the 10 to the 5. He will go in for the touchdown. Josh Bright one more time, and this offense remains perfect on the afternoon.
Perfect is not the word. Josh Bright has been absolutely outstanding. They're unbelievable that they score again. And Jim, just like a sharp knife in the hot butter, boy, they scored quickly, effectively. It was impressive again.
61-yard drive. 4 plays. Now, Billy Dorgan will attempt the extra point. How disheartening is that? Bloomsburg struggles to score. They do it easily. Dorgan kicks it up and through. Time out of the field. 3:51 remaining, third quarter. Delta State 49, Bloomsburg 28. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Huskies of Bloomsburg have run into a buzzsaw of an offense in Delta State University. And in this national championship game, Bloomsburg trailing 49-21, and still 3 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the third quarter of play. As Dorgan will kick off. His kick is very, very high and short. The Huskies will have to get it, and Forgione actually calls a fair catch at the 28-yard line. So we've seen deep kicks, we've seen onside kicks, and then the short pooch variety for Delta State. So Bloomsburg will have the football. Huskies, a long way to go, but their offense in this third quarter is 2 for 2.
Yeah, they certainly are. They've moved the football. They've put points on the board. Huskies have to answer back again now and try to at least keep pace and see if this Delta State offense will have a glitch someplace.
1st and 10 for the Huskies. Fake to Aristine Henry. Miller throws out of the backfield to Lechthaler at the 35, and Alan Lechthaler over the 36-yard line. So Lechthaler makes his first catch of the day from the tight end position. 250-pound junior out of Hershey High School. Eric Miller with a good ball fake. They pick up 11 yards and a first down to the 38.
First down, ball spotted at the 37.
Good job to the tight end. They went to Sullivan earlier. Now they go to Alan Lechthaler. They may use it again in this ball game, Jim. They've got to move the football, and clock will start to become an ally of the Delta State Statesmen as long as they keep putting points on the board.
Aristine Henry is the tailback in the I formation. Eric Miller back to throw and throws it behind the intended receiver, Terrell Johnson, at the 42-yard line. Incomplete, 2nd and 10 at the 38. Mix up there.
Yeah, I don't know if he had to get rid of it sooner than he wanted or what the deal was, but he and Terrell certainly were not on the same page there, and Eric gets the call now from the sideline, and the Huskies will set up a 2nd down, but they've come up with the big play when they've needed it. They're not in that position yet, but miscommunication definitely on that last one.
Lechthaler is the tight end on the right side. Here's the end around. Oh, it's fake to Loco. Miller is going to be hit and dropped at the 37-yard line. He'll lose a yard on the play. They faked the end around to Mike Loco. If Eric Miller had kept his feet there, he might have had a lot of running room on that far side. But as it is, he'll lose a half yard. So the Huskies, who have converted on 2 huge 4th down calls in this third quarter, now face a big 3rd and 11 at their own 37-yard line.
A lot of pressure coming there from Ezel Powell, one of those big defensive linemen for Miller, and that's what made him turn up in and lose his balance.
Powell, a transfer from Auburn, 3rd and 11. Miller from shotgun, back to throw, looking long, and throws it way, way over the head of Darrell Williams and behind him. Boy, I don't recall a game in a long time where there's been more of those miscommunications than they had. 2 on that series. Just not like the Husky offense. And boy, now they're going to give it up with 2:53 to go in the third quarter. And you can't give it up to Delta State, because if the pattern continues, it'll be only a moment of minutes before they're in the end zone once again.
Yeah, they've done a good job, and giving it up and scoring the way the Huskies have usually would work, but not against this offense.
Joe Dietrich with a nice punt. Casey Mackey will field it over his shoulder in his own 24-yard line, and Marcus Glaze wraps him up at the 25. So a nice punt by Dietrich and good coverage downfield by Glaze. And Delta State will have the football. We haven't seen Jeff Smith yet in the second half. He is a senior quarterback who backs up junior Josh Bright, and is a terrific quarterback in his own right, as if they don't have enough weapons.
Well, when he came in, they went to that passing offense, and right now they're not necessarily needing to be in that mode, Jim. They want clock to run now. They've got to feel real good with a 21-point lead and just 2:42 to go in this third quarter. Option quarterback's in there again, Bright.
And Rico McDonald is the lone running back behind him, a slot to the left side, as Bright will hand off to McDonald, and he will push ahead for about 2 or 3. Jeremiah Dyer makes the tackle from his inside linebacker position. Dyer, the junior out of Berwick, 5'10", 211-pounder, number 1 on the team in tackles coming into this one. Gets 1 there. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 for the Statesmen at their own 28.
He'll be an important returnee for this defensive unit next year, will Jeremiah Dyer, right in the middle of it.
And all 3 of those outstanding linebackers back for the Bloomsburg. Slot to the left again. McDonald, the lone running back. Bright is going to option down the left side. Pitch at the last moment to McDonald, and he's wrapped up by Matt Keys as he gets over the 30, out to about the 33-yard line. So they pick up 5 on the play. 3rd down and 3. Loneliest player for Delta State today has been their punter. He's not had an opportunity yet, as this finely tuned offense has rung up big chunks of yardage. In fact, they haven't faced many 3rd down situations. They have one here. 3rd and 3. Now they go with the 3 running backs. So we can look for some option action here. Bright calling it audible. Rico McDonald started out of his stance, now gets back in it. And they give to him, no, Bright keeps it, and he stopped. Stopped in his tracks. Matt Keys makes the play defensively for the Huskies. So the punt team will be on for the first time today for Delta State.
I was just about to say maybe they wasted one of their 52 spots on the roster for this NCAA championship game on a punter. And we're going to see Konigsberger for the first time.
Rico McDonald shaken up on the play as Huskies made a good defensive play. They're all over the handoff. Of course, that happened earlier in the game, and Bright used his 235-pound frame to break out of a tackle attempt, pick up the first down. But McDonald, the leading rusher on this team on the season, shaken up, and he will now walk slowly to the sideline.
Hey, Jim, the Statesmen are going to punt.
Blake Konigsberger. I've been practicing that all day and haven't needed it until now.
The one pronunciation we checked right up until before game time, and it's the one we haven't gotten a chance to do.
The junior is standing back inside his 20-yard line. Keith Pate, the sophomore out of Nettleton, Mississippi, does the long snapping. Toye Berry waits. Bloomsburg jumped across. Did that really happen? The punt will sail inside the 20, fielded by Toye Berry. Berry will be buried down at the 15-yard line. Did Bloomsburg jump across on 4th down and give a team a first down the first time they were going to punt today?
I think you can count on it. Brian Sims is leading the pack, crossing the 45 right now, and he's headed back to play some defense some more.
That is just incredible. That is maybe the biggest mistake the Huskies have made since the postseason started.
Well,
defense has worked so hard to finally get in a position. They're going to punt for the first time today. It's going to be the first time that Delta State doesn't score a touchdown, and someone whose name will be left out jumps across, and it's an automatic first down.
Yeah, that was huge. They got exactly what they wanted, and even with just a quarter left, you know, the Huskies, you got to keep going back and believing. They scored 29 a week ago in the 4th quarter. They're behind by 21 now, so you got to keep hoping and believing. But boy, that really hurt.
As bad a mistake as you can make in a football game was just made by the Huskies. And now watch Delta State from the 39-yard line with a 1st and 10. DeForest Hart is the tailback. He gets the call, is hit behind the line, but breaks ahead for a yard to the 40-yard line. Greg Roskis makes the stop for the Huskies. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Nice play by... I'm sorry, Jim, excuse me. Nice play by Roskis. You got to hope that the Husky defense is enthused by the fact that they stopped the Statesmen, and maybe they can come up with another stop right here.
Bloomsburg was going to get the football with a chance to cut into this lead. Instead, they hand it off to Delta State on a platter as the 3rd quarter will come to an end. with the score, Delta State 49, Bloomsburg 28. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter in 60 seconds.
Bloomsburg 28.
Last week in the semifinal game at UC Davis, Bloomsburg overcame a 19-point deficit to beat UC Davis and advance to this national championship game. If the Huskies are to win the national championship, their comeback will have to be even more dramatic. They trail now by 21 points, 49-28. And they'll start the final period with Delta State in possession. A second down and 9 at their own 40. They'll move from our right to our left as we view things in the final period. The Huskies had stopped the Statesmen for the first time all afternoon. But on a fourth down punting situation, one of the Huskies jumped across offside, handing the Statesmen a first down.
Well, it was certainly a big play in this drive, but the Huskies know now they can stop the Statesmen. They've got to come up again and come up big now.
Second down and 9. Delta State University at their own 40-yard line. Josh Bright, their outstanding quarterback under center. Play action, back to throw, fires incomplete. Tanny Flowers had it and dropped it at the Bloomsburg 45.
Yeah, they had to do it quickly. He got turned around and got his feet tangled up a little bit, did Tanny Flowers, and Bright laid it in there. It was a good call. He had a big gap behind those Husky linebackers. The action got them to come forward, and Tanny Flowers went right by him and was an ope out there in the flat.
Bloomsburg fans still into it. They're on their feet down below, exhorting their defense to stop the Statesmen on a third down and 9 as Bright will operate from shotgun. 3 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Josh Bright has the snap, fakes the quarterback draw, fires a bullet pass for a big first down. Jennings on the run to the Bloomsburg 38-yard line. Bright stands tall in the pocket and rifles the ball to Jennings for the first down.
Well, he's got the body to be that drop-back passer, but it's the kind of situation, you believe it or not, you want to get these Statesmen in. You want them in that passing option, that passing situation away from the option. And boy, Josh Bright, he's just a talent, stood back in there and fired it. Big play, first down.
I think the only situation you want them in is sitting on the bench across the way.
True story.
21 yards on the reception on the third down call. From the 39, the give is to McDonald up the middle. Plenty of running room. Still running inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Rico McDonald shaken up earlier, but back in there. Matt Keys, Jeremiah Dyer combining on the stop. But that offensive line, which has been outstanding all day long for the Statesmen, ripping up the Huskies once again. 11 yards on the carry, first and 10.
Well, a good hole on that side again. McDonald doing the job, Jim, and picking up that first down. And again, Statesmen looking at adding more points to the 49 they already have, and maybe the final blow to the Huskies make the gap too big to overcome.
55 is their top point total this season, but they're just 28 yards away from topping that. As Bright, with McDonald as the lone running back, has a double slot. McDonald gets the call. Matt Keys wraps him up as he gets to about the 26-yard line. Straight ahead call to Rico McDonald, the 197-pound junior out of Ripley, Mississippi. Leading rusher coming into this ballgame on the season, but Bright's been the leading rusher today. 3 touchdowns for the 6'5", 235-pound junior. Second down and 7. Delta State at the Bloomsburg 26. Slot to the right, slot to the left. Bright under center. Bloomsburg showing blitz. Matt Keys coming into the line. Coming hard, but Bright has the answer. Pass to the far side to Franklin, who's out of bounds at the 11-yard line. 15 yards on the quick out, first and 10 for Delta State.
Well, you said he had the answer. He's had the answer all day long, and that time to Franklin. He's a talented wide receiver, and you play that option so much that when they do pass the football, other than in the obvious situation there in the shotgun a little while ago, when they pass it, usually someone is open. It's a matter of connecting, and Josh Bright does it to Franklin again.
13:24 to go in the football game, and now Josh Bright will operate from shotgun. Slot to the left, slot to the right. Bright has the snap. Quarterback draws, got some room, lowers the shoulder, gets inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Josh Bright will pick up about 3. Brian Sims getting up a little slowly. He was shaken up earlier in the ball game.
bit of penetration by the Huskies, Jim, but Kenneth Johnson, one of the offensive linemen there, doing his job and keeping him away just long enough for Josh Bright to pick up some positive yardage.
2nd and 7 for Delta State at the Bloomsburg 8-yard line. Double slot formation. McDonald, the lone running back, behind quarterback Josh Bright. Bright gives the ball to McDonald. Has running room. Breaks the tackle with the 5. Breaks another tackle. Gets down to the 1-yard line.
One of the more impressive runs of the afternoon. He's breaking a couple of tackles now. The Huskies have got to be getting tired. We're well into the 4th quarter. They've been out there a lot. And this Delta State offensive line has just really punished them all afternoon and got them down there again near the goal line.
3rd and less than a yard, or maybe a first down, as they're going to measure for that first down.
Well, it's close. Those chains on the far side. To us, it looks like it's at the 2 and the markers inside the 2, but we'll hold it here. I think they're probably just a little bit short, and almost like a timeout for this offense to figure out another play. That's not good news.
Talking to Brian Sims, the Husky co-captain this week, he said the 3 people in the middle of that Delta State line, the center, the 2 guards, Chris Booker and Jamie Everett, the guards, Randy Grierson, the center, he said we're just about as good as he's had to face this season. He said they really move people, and they have done that today. And they have a 3rd down and inches at the Bloomsburg 2-yard line.
Figure out what play's coming here, and now another timeout on the play, and we're going to be out of here. It's an official's timeout, Jim.
12:31 to go, 49-28. Delta State over Bloomsburg. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
3rd and a foot to go on the 2-yard line.
First time they stopped them.
Man, we're going to miss the touchdown.
They only stopped them 9 times, right?
From the 2-yard line, scramble, flags fly. Bright loses the football. Keys falls on it, but I think the play will be blown dead. It looked like some movement on the line for Delta State. I tell you, this offense has made precious few mistakes on the course of this afternoon. They just made one there. We'll come back to the 7-yard line. They'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 on illegal procedure against Delta State. They're coming out of the Gulf South Conference. They're the 5th different team from that conference to make it to a national championship game in the 28 years that the NCAA has sponsored this tournament. So it's a terrific conference, and they are representing their conference well today from the 7-yard line. 3rd down and 6. Bright on a long count once again. It's been working with that most of the day. Gives the ball, and a sweep around the side, and it'll be an easy touchdown. Practically walking in for the score is Tanny Flowers. 7 yards out.
Boy, oh boy, it was easy. They went with the flow, and when they do that, they like to give you that look into the gut of the line, and don't do it, and they go wide, and Tanny Flowers almost on a naked bootleg like the quarterback would do. Quarterback hands it off to him coming around, and as you said, he waltzed right in the end zone, Jim.
So, another long drive, 74 yards altogether. Billy Dorgan will attempt the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field, 12:03 to go in the football game. 56-28, Delta State leads it. We'll be back in 60 seconds. 12 minutes and 3 seconds to go in this national championship football game. And the Huskies have run into a powerhouse in Delta State University from Cleveland, Mississippi. Their offense has been just tremendous today. The only time they were going to punt, Bloomsburg helped them by jumping off sides and kept the drive alive, so they have not been stopped one time today. Every single possession, with the exception of the last 40 seconds of the first half when they took a knee, they have scored.
Has been an impressive run by the Statesmen, and they add the 56 points, or add up the 56 points and double up on the Huskies now.
Brian Stone deep for Bloomsburg, and the kick will be high. Pooch kick to the far side. Solomon Nelson at the 25. Nelson to the 30, to the 35, and returns it over the 40, out to about the 43-yard line. So Nelson out of Milton Hershey with the return. Shelton Belton with the tackle for the Statesmen. And Bloomsburg will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line, trailing 56-28, still 11:54 to go.
Solomon Nelson, one of those running backs we should see a lot next year, Jim, when he starts filling in on a regular basis in that offensive set out of this I formation.
Now, running back's going to be a real strength of the Huskies next season. Everybody returning is Miller from shotgun. They're coming hard. Inside screen to Terrell Johnson. Gets a great block from Jeff Smith. Over midfield to the 45 and down to the 41-yard line. Jeff Smith with a huge block, setting up Terrell Johnson on that rocket screen.
Boy, it was huge from a big guy. Jeff Smith lays him out. Manny Henry lays a big hand out there and congratulates him. But the big play by the Huskies. Again, Jim, the Huskies put more points on the board. All they've run into is a team that can put more on the board than them. But this offense has looked good again today for Bloomsburg.
1st and 10, Bloomsburg. Again, Miller will operate from shotgun. Fakes the rocket screen and shuffles it ahead to Marcus Glaze. Gets down to about the 35-yard line.
Delta State plays that very well. That shuffle hasn't worked very well for the Huskies today. Ezel Powell, the big Auburn transfer, makes the tackle on the play. He wasn't fooled too much. That's been an effective play for the Huskies throughout the course of this season. Today, not completely ineffective, but certainly not the yards they expect out of it.
Jim said big Ezel Powell, 6'6", 336. From the 36-yard line. Miller from shotgun again. Rolls right, fires over the middle. Diving catch, Mike Loco. 1st and 10 Huskies at the 26-yard line. Pass came up short, but Loco went down and got it. 1st and 10 for Bloomsburg.
And that's what he does so well, Jim. A lot of times those passes that come up short to a receiver, and the receiver doesn't go down there and get it. It goes as an incompletion. Mike Loco has big numbers because Mike Loco works for big numbers. He did there. He got what he could out of that play.
1st and 10, Bloomsburg. Again, Miller will operate from shotgun. From the 26, he has the snap. He's back to throw. He fires to the sideline. Incomplete, nearly intercepted. His receiver had fallen down. And Eric's pass was already in the air at the time. So the best crack in the football was Pat Walker, who couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, Rocco Forgione tripped, and it left Walker up there behind him because he was playing with that pad again that they have all day long. Have the Statesmen, and that time Walker almost with the pick, but it was because Forgione tripped, not because Miller threw a bad pass or an errant pass.
Robert Gaines lumbers onto the field, 296-pound senior, as Miller back to throw. Now he's going to keep the football, and he'll slide down about the 25-yard line. So it's 3rd down and 10. This is a position the Huskies have not been in a long, long time. That is exclusively pass. Their strength of their offense has been the mix of the pass and run, but the score being what it is with 10:19 to go, you have to abandon the balance and the mix and go exclusively to the pass. That, of course, is dangerous, but it is desperation time. Miller went up to the center. Matt Russell, who snapped the football. Miller was just going up, I believe, to call an audible.
Yeah, but don't bet Delta didn't jump. I'm waiting to see.
Snap infraction.
No.
Third down.
Illegal procedure against the Huskies. I wasn't so sure Delta didn't jump, and Matt Russell was trying to catch him off guard when Eric walked under center there, but the glitch makes this 3rd down a little bit harder.
Bloomsburg might be just a little disheartened now. They're making some mistakes that we haven't seen in a long time. 3rd and 15 now from the 30-yard line. Again, Eric Miller will come under center just to call out something. He did that last time, and the ball was snapped. Now he has the snap, back to throw, looking, fires. The ball is tipped and incomplete. Almost intercepted and then almost caught on the deflection by Terrell Johnson.
Yeah, Andre Brown had the tip at first, and then Demetrius Patterson almost had a shot at it. So it was a dangerous pass. Now a 4th down for the Huskies. They've come up with some big plays on 4th down today. They need one right now.
And they connected on 2 big 4th down plays in that 3rd quarter. One for a touchdown, one for a 1st down that kept a drive alive. Eric Miller from shotgun, 4th and 15 at the Delta State 30-yard line. Miller has the snap, back to throw, looking for Darrell Williams, makes the grab for a touchdown. Darrell Williams from Eric Miller, flag down in the play. I think this one's going to come back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, are they a fourth down team or what, though? That may be a hold and it may come back. The Delta State players are pointing against the Huskies, but boy, what a great
I saw
play.
someone leave on the left side. It's a motion call against Bloomsburg, and this is a little disheartening. I mean, the Huskies obviously have battled hard all season, and right now making some mistakes very uncharacteristic of the way it's been going for them, particularly since early in the season, and now it's 4th down and 20. That negates a terrific touchdown pass, Eric Miller to Darrell Williams.
Yeah, it was a dandy. They're a big 4th down team and come up with a big play there again. Eric Miller throwing it right on the mark. A dandy pass, but the Huskies flagged for that one and haven't been penalized much in this game, Jim. After 3 quarters, just 3 of them for 15 yards, so that one really hurts.
4th and 20. Eric Miller back to throw, rolling right, cocks the arm, fires. Terrell Johnson was knocked down in a collision. There's not going to be a flag. They'll just rule an incidental contact. And so Delta State will take over the football.
Actually, uncatchable is what the man in the back said, Jim. The official back there said it was an uncatchable pass, so it didn't matter. And he's going to have to give an explanation to Danny Hale on his way by. But Danny says it was uncatchable because my man was on the ground.
Yeah, it's a little hard to catch a ball. But Delta State will take over, so the Huskies were their own worst enemy on that drive with the penalty that stopped the touchdown. Delta State takes over, and here come those Statesmen with 9:36 to go. They have scored on every single possession of the ball game.
New quarterback, too.
Jeff Smith's in there. He gives off the right side. Flag down the play as Rico McDonald gets to the 39-yard line, picks up 4 yards.
Tackle about 35, gone.
I suspect holding in the backfield against Delta State. Indeed, that's what it is. They haven't done it all day long. Now's a heck of a time to get called for holding.
The record for points in a national championship game in Division II is 58, so they're 1 score away from breaking that. That was set last year, but that was done in 4 overtimes. They're going to do it if they score again in regulation.
Yeah, Northwest Missouri State and Carson Newman locked up in 1 a year ago. It was just a dandy. 4 overtimes, 58-52. Northwest Missouri State coming out on top, and boy, Delta State's done it in regulation, as you say, with 56 already, with still 9+ to go.
Jeff Smith, the senior quarterback who engineered 1 terrific drive in the first half, gives the ball off to Rico McDonald, and McDonald straight ahead gets to the 29-yard line, picks up 4. 2nd down and 16. Well, you wonder the circumstances about Jeff Smith coming to Delta State as a backup, because he's got the talent to start in an awful lot of places.
Yeah, but he also wouldn't be playing for a national championship in a lot of places, and he can say he gets to do that. So, you know, I'm sure he's happy to be here with Delta State right now, but he is a talented young man as a 2nd-string quarterback.
Transfer from the University of Mississippi is now in the shotgun formation. Slot to the left, slot to the right. 2nd down call from the 29. Fakes the inside handoff, back to throw, fires over the middle. The ball is tipped and picked off by Jeremiah Dyer. Dyer to the 44-yard line. Trent Flick knocked it up into the air. Dyer picks it off, and the Huskies in business in Delta State territory.
That's why they do the tip drill to those defensive backs, and Trent Flick did indeed try to catch it and turned into a tip. Jeremiah Dyer coming up with it, and the Huskies get their first turnover of the game. Jim, the thing that they've done all year long and why they've done so well is there's no quit in this team. They showed it a week ago against Cal Davis. They came back in a win that Bloomsburg people won't forget for a lot of years. That may not happen today, but there's no quit here.
1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the 44. Miller from shotgun, looking, fires over the middle, has Loco. Loco bounces away from a tackler, gets inside the 30, and spins down to the 27-yard line. Mike Loco one more time for his tremendous career. Big pickup from Eric Miller. 1st and 10 Huskies. Clock running, 8:18 to go in this football game. 56-28, Bloomsburg trails it.
Jim, just a note, too, on these points by Delta State. It's the first time since 1991 that the Huskies have given up 50 or more points in a game. So it's been an impressive run. It ends today.
Miller from shotgun, back to throw, fires over the middle. Forgione can't handle it, the 20-yard line. Rocco Forgione has been a sure-handed receiver for the Huskies out of Valley View High School this year. Couldn't grab that one. The 2nd and 10 from the 27-yard line.
Nice crowd has seen an entertaining game with two offenses, Jim. We handed the official attendance 71-73 for today's game, and they have seen two high-powered offenses, particularly the Delta State Statesmen. They deserve a lot of credit. They've been very impressive all day long. This Husky offense has been pretty good as well.
2nd and 10, Bloomsburg at the 27. Slot to the left side. Miller from shotgun has the snap. Inside screen to Darrell Williams. Hit and drop. They'll call it an incompletion. It was picked up, but it was covered very, very well. 3rd down and 10. Bloomsburg at the 27.
Could have been a quick catch there and a turnover, and Delta State thought they had one and their defense was going to score. Not to be. Didn't have possession. Threw it into a crowd. That little inside screen look again. The inside receiver, or outside receiver coming inside, and didn't happen.
So again, Eric Miller's going to end up with an awful lot of passes today. Maybe more than the Huskies would have liked to have thrown, but it's the situation. The score dictates that. 3rd and 10. Has the snap from shotgun on a roll left. Fires a pass. Diving attempt by Loco, incomplete.
That's a nice play on that corner by number 21, Demetrius Patterson. May very well have gotten a paw in there and knocked it down. And all day long they've given a little bit of that cushion. That time Patterson closed it down.
Yeah, this is not the Huskies' game, Jim. The pass every play is just not their game, but it's the score that's dictating it. And you can see how it's not nearly as effective as when they can mix in a little run here and a little screen there. But now 4th and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, they flopped all year long. Run sets up pass or pass sets up run. But certainly that's not the case right now. They have to pass the football.
Miller from shotgun has the snap, back to throw, rolling right, fires across his body. Terrell Johnson drops the football at the 13, and they will not get the first down. Delta State will take over the football.
Rory Bell with a big play there, Jim, for the defensive secondary.
Eric deserved a better fate on that play, or that series, as Rocco Forgione should have caught a pass, and Johnson should have had that one. So the Huskies get the turnover, but cannot do anything with it. And Delta State will take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line with 7:48 to go. And the Statesmen lead it 56-28. And they need a score for the Division II National Championship record. And they have Josh Bright back in at quarterback.
I thought they'd sit on it the last time a little bit and try to eat up some clock, and they did throw a pass that was picked off. This time it's Josh Bright, and I think the clock's their ally. They want to run it out and get out of here.
Bright faked the handoff, kept the football, tried the right side. Jeremiah Dyer wrapped him up after a gain of about 5, maybe 6 to the 33-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Well, Josh Bright is going to come through with some great rushing numbers in this ballgame. He is some story. 6'5", 235-pound junior quarterback.
Yeah, this Gulf South Conference got to look at this young man for another year.
This is quite a conference. They were actually only the tri-champions. 3 teams tied for the top spot in this 12-team conference. As Bright fakes handoff, keeps the football, has the first down over the 40, out at the 42. Trent Flick in on the stop for the Huskies.
Stopped by Roskus.
Trent Flick, who was outstanding at Central Columbia High School, staying close to home, playing for the Huskies. Boy, what a career he's had.
Yes, he certainly has, Jim. He came out. It's nice to see local kids in the Bloomsburg lineup. Manny Henry, a big time on the offensive line. Trent Flick on the other side of the ball. Some locals really fitting in, and it really has been a nice thing to see.
1st and 10. Delta State has it at their own 42-yard line.
Thank you.
Now the I formation. Behind quarterback Josh Bright. He gives the ball off to DeForest Hart. Breaks the tackle over midfield. Breaks to the outside to the 40. Has one man to beat. Then Toye Berry wrestles him down at the 30-yard line. And then Hart gets up and gets in the face of Berry and does the kind of things you don't like to see in college football. The referees ignore it.
Well, indeed he did, and referees looking the other way and saying maybe they're getting a little excited now. They know they're going to win it. Hey, Jim, you talked about records, and let's give credit to Eric Miller. Now 1,237 yards, hasn't finished the day yet. In the four-game tournament, he breaks a mark of 1,226 set by Chris Crawford of Portland State in 1988. So Eric Miller's name will go in the record books, even though they'll lose this final game in the four-game tournament.
DeForest Hart will again be the tailback in the eye. After his 28-yard run, he takes the pitch to the right side, has some running room, and then is hit by Jeremiah Dyer, who runs him out of bounds.
Jeremiah Dyer, who had 18 tackles in this ball game till that one, so give him one more. He's having a huge day. Remember, Frank Sheptock, Jim, way back in 1985 down here, had 21 tackles in a ball game. So this field conducive to middle linebackers for the Huskies. Jeremiah Dyer having a huge day today. The Berwick product, another one of those locals, doing well for the Huskies.
Second down and 4 for the Statesmen at the Bloomsburg 26-yard line. Gary Smith is the lone running back behind Jeff Smith, who's in there at the quarterback controls, and the call goes to Gary Smith and a huge hole off the right side. It's inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. So these Statesmen are heading for the goal line once again. The chance to break the record as far as scoring is concerned. They've already scored more points than they have in any game this season. They have a 1st and 10 at the Bloomsburg 18.
They picked a good time to do it. This offense has been very impressive. As we say, just when you thought maybe the Husky defense had settled in a little bit in the first half, they brought into the ballgame Jeff Smith, and he changed it up, and they went to the passing offense. Husky defense really never able to settle in today at all.
Jason Franklin wide to the right side. Gary Smith gets the call, has a clear path to the end zone, goes in without being touched for a touchdown. And that will set the national record for a championship final in Division II. As that big offensive line just shredded the Huskies once again, 18 yards on the touchdown run.
Boy, it was impressive all day long, and that one not one of the more impressive ones of the afternoon. Have a man down on this near sideline, Jim, but more importantly for Delta State, 62 points in the ball game, and kind of disheartening for the Huskies to come down the end of a season. It's been a great one. They lost their first 2 ball games. A lot of people counted them out, and they just came back and won 12 ball games in a row. They'll finish 12-3 and tie the school record for victories in a season, but this is the one they'll remember, the first trip ever for Bloomsburg to the Division II National Championship football game, and the Huskies are going to come out on a lopsided end of the score, 62-28 right now, and still 5:26 to go in this ball game.
And this is the one where you throw away the film. You don't want to look at it too long. Tanny Flowers shaken up on the play.
Jim, we talked a lot, obviously, with the coaching staff throughout the course of the week, and the films they had showed a lot of option and showed some passing ability. They said 50-50 on third down conversions, pass to run, but I'm not sure they expected it to be this good and this diversified.
Billy Dorgan will attempt the extra point to add another point onto the record-setting total for Delta State. His kick is up, and his kick is good. Top of the field, 5:26 remaining. Delta State 63, Bloomsburg 28. We'll be back in 6. 4-hour trip from Cleveland, Mississippi, on their feet across the way. That celebration already starting, and you can't blame them. They have really put on a show today as they're going to win their first ever National Football Championship, and boy, they have earned it.
Yeah, they sure have. They've worked hard. The defense did what it had to do, as that's stop the Huskies on occasion and get the offense out there on the field. And when they were out there, boy, we've seen an impressive show.
Dorgan's kick taken by Solomon Melson at the 20 and runs it out to the 32-yard line. Jamal Johnson among the people in on the stop for Delta State, as Bloomsburg will come out on the field, and Chris Thompson will be the quarterback. So Eric Miller's record-setting career for Bloomsburg has ended. He is sitting on the bench down below us next to tight end Brian Sullivan and Chris Thompson, who just might be the heir apparent to that position. The junior out of Mannheim Central will get a chance to direct an offense in the championship game from the 33-yard line, 1st and 10. Thompson gives on the play to Aristine Henry. He has some running room out to the 40 and to the 41-yard line. Picks up 8 on the play. We talked about Bloomsburg's running prospects for next year. Aristine Henry will be back. Marcus Glaze will be back. Both fullbacks back. And they've redshirted a couple running backs with a lot of talent. So if they can replace some of the tremendous people they have on the offensive front, this could be a potent offensive unit once again.
That's where they're going to have to do it, up front, because the Huskies, all those guys up front, are the large majority of them go, and that'll be a huge loss in several plays.
2. Henry gets the first down and then some over midfield and to the 47-yard line of the Statesmen. So Bloomsburg has a first and 10.
First down.
With 4:36 to go in this football game. Trailing 63-28. The ball at the 46-yard line of Delta State. Steve Campbell, in just his 3rd year as head coach of that school, taking his team to a national championship at 32 years of age. It's Chris Thompson. Sets him down. Brian Bingaman in as a tackle to the right side. And Henry gets the call off the right side to the 35, to the 30. And Aristine Henry then hit hard at the 28-yard line as Rory Bell makes the stop, lifted him high in the air, brought him down hard to the turf. So Bloomsburg moving the football. Aristine Henry picking up 18, 1st and 10 at the 28.
Well, Rory Bell making a big hit, and Delta doing some celebrating now, but Huskies looking to try to put one more with the backups in the ball game here. A lot of backups there defensively for Delta State as well.
Slot to the left side. Leck Thaler, the tight end, on the right. They'll run to the left with Henry. He gets to the 20, breaks to the 15, to the 10, and Aristine Henry down around the 7-yard line. Jamison McLaughlin doing a nice job of blocking from that fullback position. Tell you, neither Jamison McLaughlin nor Doug Werner are the big fullback that is the stereotype at that position, but both are excellent blockers. That time it was McLaughlin leading the way for a 22-yard pickup, 1st and goal at the 6.
Yeah, nor have they gotten credit for throughout the year making this offense go, Jim. The offensive line's gotten a lot of credit for the job they do, but Jamison McLaughlin and Doug Werner, the starter, just doing a great job throughout the course of the year as well. Good fullbacks in their back.
Slap to the right side. The call goes to Henry. Skips one tackle and another, and gets in for the touchdown. Aristine Henry in from the 6-yard line for the score.
Nice hole, cut back against it. It's what Aristine Henry does very, very well, Jim, is he cuts back against the grain and does the job well. Marcus Glaze does a real good job getting to the outside. Henry finds the hole on the inside, finds his spot, gets into the end zone for another score for Huskies.
22 yards for Henry, 18 yards for Henry. The big play is on that 67-yard drive. Now Chris Thompson will attempt the extra point. New holder for the Huskies. Ryan Van Norman, the snap gets away, and it's picked up by a big lineman, and Norman will make the stop out of the 30-yard line. So the extra point attempt fails. Timeout on the field with 3:32 remaining in the game. Delta State 63, Bloomsburg 34. We'll be back in the second half with the onside kick. Not only did he kick it, but he recovered it. Led to a Bloomsburg score, but Huskies have not been able to stop the Delta State offense. As Quigley approaches the ball, and he'll kick it downfield. Jason Franklin will field it at the 11-yard line. He'll go down on one knee at the 13-yard line. So Delta State will put it in play at that point. Just 3 minutes and 26 seconds to go in this season for the Huskies. Reminder, there will be a celebration in Bloomsburg honoring the great performance of this team. A parade will form 7 o'clock on Sunday evening. It's tomorrow night, and we'll end up at Courthouse Square with some comments from players and coaches. And then at McGee's 24 West, there will be a reception following that Sunday night parade to honor this football team that's done so much and accomplished so much this season. 1st and 10, Delta State at their own 14-yard line. As Jeff Smith is the quarterback, he has a problem with the exchange, wanted to hand it off. Let's go back to the 12 to get a 2nd down and 12. Jim, talking to these Delta State people at the press conference, they are really good people. You don't mind, of course you mind losing, especially to this degree, but they showed a lot of class at the press conference. Josh Bright, we understand, is one of the nicest people you could ever meet, and sure seemed that way when we talked to him. And they're going to win a national championship and well-deserved.
It's what we say it's about as student athletes, and when you talk to a young man like Josh Bright, you find out he's very, very talented, and when you talk to him, he's an outstanding young man and well-spoken and a good ambassador for Delta State University, and they should be very proud of that young man.
Josh Hatcher's in the lineup, and he hands off, and there's a big hole off the right side. Is this guy going to go? Midfield, still on his feet, brought down at the Bloomsburg 44-yard line. The Delta State just keeps racking up huge yardage. That was Trevin Dixon, the junior from Holly Springs, Massachusetts. And they may get another one on the board with 2:31 to go. They have it at the Bloomsburg 44-yard line. Huskies now doing some wholesale substituting as they'll get some people some championship game action. Charlie Lanier, number 27, is in that secondary along with Jason Noble as Delta State with the ball at the Bloomsburg 44-yard line. Hatcher, third quarterback used by the Statesmen, gives the ball straight ahead as the carry goes to
Play will gain about
Michael
4
Bain.
yards.
And he'll pick
Ball
up just
carrier,
a
28,
couple
Gary Smith.
on the play. Mike Gross
Stop by
making a
37.
stop for the Huskies at the 40-yard line. Pick up a 4.
Gross.
Second down and 6 with 1:45 remaining in the football game.
They're not in any hurry. They're using up that clock, and indeed they may get in the end zone again, but it's not because they're trying to do anything, run it up, Jim. They're just trying to run some plays and run some clock, keeping it on the ground.
Josh Hatcher out of Louisville, Mississippi, is the quarterback right now for Delta State. Taking as long as they possibly can without a penalty. There's a call to running back who is brought down the 23-yard line, came within a whisker of scoring another touchdown. That's Mario Purifoy. A Husky down on the play. We're going to have an injury timeout here with 1:16 to go in this football game. The ball at the 26-yard line. We'll have an injury timeout, 63-34. Delta State leading it. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Jim Doyle, Jim Hollister, back at Raleigh Municipal Stadium in Florence, Alabama. Closing moments of the Division II National Championship game. Delta State of Mississippi is going to end Bloomsburg's magnificent run, 63-34. The Statesmen lead the Husky. And after the injury timeout, Jim Lanigan helped off the field, being checked on the sideline as Delta State with the ball at the Husky 27-yard line with a 1st and 10. Hatcher is the quarterback. He's going to fake handoff, option of football. No, he's going to give straight ahead, and a loss be back to the 29-yard line. Derek Williams getting in there from his linebacker position for the Huskies.
37.
So a loss on the play, 39 seconds to go.
One more play in the football game, and because they have to, Jim, and I would expect more of the same, they'll eat up this whole 25-second clock and leave about 10 seconds to go. They do have to run a play or be penalized, and so they'll run one more play with Josh Hatcher and the Statesmen and start celebrating their big win.
20 seconds to go from the 25-yard line. Hatcher will hand off on the play. Purifoy has it, and he spins down to the 18-yard line on what will be the final play of the football game. Players will start toward the center of the field. Celebration is on where Delta State is concerned. They have won the school's first national championship. Bloomsburg's best and longest season has ended here in Florence, Alabama. The final score in the Division II final: Delta State University 63, Bloomsburg University 34. Back with the scoring and statistics in 60 seconds.